Hey guys, it's supermexicanmia. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hey guys, so today I feel like it's been low-key forever, but also at the same time it hasn't. But anyway, so I just want to talk to you guys about how my life has been. Whew. So low-key get something to eat. Not kidding. I get a little drink, you know. This might be long, so I just want to tell you how my life's been with having, you know, a baby daddy. I hate that word so much. I think it's just, I have so much like negative connotation or like negative associations with that word, or you know, you've seen or like you've heard on social media or just in general. Oh hey, it's me, Tiny Chirbe. Not too bad. Chobe. Basically, since like, you know, because I don't even know where I left off in the like the last segment of my life, my video, from when he left. Basically, he moved to Vegas to live with his family, not our dog, and now it's just his dog, you know. But yeah, he has Zeus with him. You guys know Zeus, obviously. Yeah, you know, I stay with Camilo. I remember the last text that he sent was essentially how, like before, like or when he decided to leave, he was like already on the bus or something, but he was like, or he was on his way already. You guys have seen, if you guys seen the video, if not, you know, you could watch it. So, you know, he wanted to work on himself, and the only way he could do that is by being away from us, you know. And I get it, right? Like, I completely understand. At the same time, I've also been working on myself and, you know, raising our baby and helping, you know, take care of him. Obviously, he's my son, or our son. And like, you know, it's good that he has that luxury. I've talked about this, you know, like to go away and work on himself or to just leave, you know. He has, I don't know how someone could have that ability, but you know, it usually happens with like fathers of the child, and it sucks. You just kind of check out, and either mentally, physically, and he kind of did both. And you know, it's not like, oh, it's my opinion. It's like, no, it's like the fact. He literally left, and like I have proof that he literally said, like, you know, it's better for him to work on himself. And then I was like, okay, I mean, like, I'm not gonna force you to stay, bro. Like, you do you. I just wish you the best no matter what. And I've always said that to him, and I mean it. I honestly mean that. A lot of stuff has happened between that time, like beginning of the year 2025, and now. It has now been almost 7 months, since our breakup. And it's crazy. I think honestly in that amount of time, I've healed so much. Like, I'm very, like, I just want to hug myself, because I wish I was me, or like duplicate clone myself to hug myself, because it's like, you did it. Like, you got out of that relationship. You did it not just for you, but for your son, you know, like for your family, for your pets. It sucks that, like, you know, Zeus, like, he had to like leave, but I couldn't take care of him. Literally, I could not have done this on my own, right? But I'm doing this for my baby, for my child. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it's just like, you know, you look back up, you don't feel it in the moment that they're growing. I literally don't feel it. Like, he's still like my baby to me, but he's obviously a toddler. Like, now he's growing. But you see pictures of last year, or when I was, you know, pregnant, and he was a newborn, and I'm just like, wow, like, time flies so fast. And then, you know, I just, whenever I see kids, or like even teenagers or preteens, I'm like, Camilo's gonna be that age. Especially when I see like boys, you know, because he's a boy. I'm like, wow, like, he's gonna be that age sometime. And obviously I'm not gonna be this age. I'm gonna be like older, right? So it's just so crazy. Like, I'm like, oh, like, I can't wait to have conversations with him. Like, it's gonna be so much fun. But also right now it's like very like, oof, I'm on it, because he's crazy. He's a toddler, or like, you know, pre-toddler. It's a whole other thing, guys. Like, one thing is like being pregnant, one thing is having a newborn, another thing is having a baby, another thing is having like a pre-toddler, then a toddler, and it's insane. Like, the level, like, you know, something, you know, before I'd be like, oh my god, making sure he's breathing, making sure you know. Now I'm like, oh my god, he put this thing in his mouth, oh my god, like, he's this, oh my god, he's here. It's just so crazy. He's like, you know, biting, pulling hair, and it's just insane. He doesn't do it all the time, but like, oh my goodness, guys. but it's a whole other journey. And like, you know, I'm excited, I'm here for it. It's so crazy. Like, I have a baby, I have a kid, bro, and like, you know, I'm a mother. I always have to kind of keep on reminding myself, because I'm still like very like, whoa, like, you know, everything happened like all of a sudden. And then, you know, it's like I'm a single mom, that's a different thing. And then, you know, when you see other like people, family, couples, like, wow, you guys have that like bond, or like even like just with you guys just alone. And then, you know, or you guys have a baby or family, it's just crazy. Like, it's just me and him, you know. As much as like I really wanted it to be the three of us, at least, I'm going to try to be as thorough as I possibly can. I have obviously a lot of proof and evidence of what I'm going to be talking about. Some of the things I don't, some of the things I do. It's in my hard drive, but it's gonna take me forever to dig through. So, you know, believe me, don't believe me, it's whatever it is. The truth at the moment, the father is in Vegas. I'm here in LA with my baby. So there it is. You know, that's just kind of like, it is what it is. Like, if you guys want to believe me, if you guys don't, like, if he's a present father, like, you know, because I think I got this like one notification from a family member of him being like, he's a good dad, and I was like, okay, like, unless he proves that, you know, then I could agree with you. But at the moment, that's not really true. You know, you could say what you want, you don't know how it is, you know, interacting with this person. You don't know how it is when this person interacts with his son. You know, I do, my family does. You know, we have also our own experience, personal evidence, just seeing it with our own eyes. My mother can attest to this, my father can attest to this, both of my sisters, not his uncle, because he doesn't really see him anymore. He does not like him, due to many reasons. But yeah, so a lot of them can very much back up what I'm saying. But obviously, you know, it's up to obviously whatever you guys want to decide. Believe me, don't believe me, girl. This is just, I'm speaking my truth. Not kidding. But like, you know, it's very much my reality, and this is just how it is. And sometimes it sucks, sometimes it's like nice, but it is what it is. Let's get into this, let's get to it. Hey guys, so I was gonna keep everything like, you know, like obviously like, you know, my personal life with like, you know, my situation like off of the internet, mostly because I would, you know, like, because it's just, you know, it's just like my life, it's like whatever vibes, you know. But at the same time, I really feel like this person's family thinks like horrible things of me, or like, you know, I'm the one that like, you know, ruined everything basically. And they think that he's like this great, amazing dad. I don't know. So I just want to make it clear, I don't think he's horrible. I don't think he's like, you know, like the worst absolute like, you know, father. Like, that's not even, you know, I really don't think he like even fits that for Camilo. But I'm not saying that he's like this horrible or, you know, person. He's just very inconsistent, and I think that says like a lot. Because, you know, I even told him this recently, but yeah, he's just a very inconsistent father. Toby. If I honestly was an extremely petty person, I would have already had full custody of our son, of Camilo. So, you know, there's just like so much. I really think like the family thing's like so bad of me that I'm like, I'm not the bad one, girl. The like crazy ones in my family are my other sisters. I'm like the calm one. Like, to be honest, I'm like the extremely nice one. Like, in all honesty, I like kill him with kindness. Not kidding, but that's literally me. But yeah, I just wanted to preface, you know, or what is it, preface, you know, this video with that. Before he was grooming himself, he literally 2 seconds ago, he was like, oh, like, he put his head on top of my baby. Oh my goodness. Now he's just like, oh, hi mom, I'm grooming myself. It was always me like FaceTiming him or calling him or texting him. It was never really him like asking about him, right? So then I stopped and I was like, hey, like, this is like kind of a lot on me. Like, a lot on my plate. I'm like trying to get over you. I'm like trying to like, you know, move on. I'm trying to take care of our son. You left, bro. Like you decided to leave. Yeah, I'm the one that still has like the responsibility of like making sure you have like, you know, all of this like, what is it, like knowledge of our son. Like it's like, you know, and like just like being like, oh yeah, like hey, like I'm gonna shower him now because we decided that, like, you know, like that I'm gonna FaceTime him, you know. And I would do that sometimes. He then afterwards, like literally, like I think the first 2 or 3 times he would answer. Then after that, it just kind of went like downhill. Like he would stop answering, or he'd be like, oh, like I'm busy, I don't know what. And I'm just like, dude, like one, you know, I was getting happy because seeing him again. Of course, our son is happy as well, you know, seeing him. So it was just kind of like a very letdown vibes. And I was like, dude, this is your son though. Like, you know, for me, I don't care basically, you know. But for your son, dude, like, so then I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, you know, you basically call me whenever you on your own time, like whenever you're free, because obviously, like, you know, you have better things to do or other things to do. Like, and then it was weird because then he started saying how like his Wi-Fi was bad and I don't know what, and it would start breaking up and that he can't FaceTime because of that. So then I was just like, okay, whatever. And my sister called it like unnecessary screen time. Like being on the FaceTime with him also, because the thing is, he was always just doing his own thing like on FaceTime and never really engaging with our son, even through FaceTime. And then he'd just be like, hi, and then like, what are you doing? And then he'd just be like, you know, doing his own thing. And he'd be like, hi. Like he'd just keep on saying hi and then bye. And just like, like, I know he's a baby. But like, girl, like you're his father, have a conversation. But it's like, you know, he's never even been like that ever since I was pregnant. I would literally have to ask like him almost all the time, like to talk to like our baby, like, you know. And he'd be like, that's weird. And I'm like, oh god, like, dude, you have no idea like how bad, like, you know, I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, he helped like clean up like a lot of my vomit. Of course he made me stuff to eat. But then at the same time, I'm like, yeah, he wasn't active like for our baby though, like, you know. And then you could tell that he would always feel like so forced to go to like my appointments and stuff. And he'd be like so bored, and I just, you know, he'd be on his phone. I'd be like, damn, like, we can't talk, bro. Like, we can't have a conversation. Like, I'm very happy about having our baby together. Like, you don't want to talk about like, you know, how you feel, like something. And then he would just be quiet, and I'm like, damn, like, feels like I'm kind of going through this like alone. And like, you know, it shouldn't really be like this. And it's like, oh, very triggering. But you know, not like I'm over it, but this is also why I don't really want to have another baby with anyone else or like ever. More because like I feel like that baby will have a better or like I will have a better experience being pregnant again. And I don't want, or like, you know, throughout the whole time, like being pregnant, giving birth, like, you know, with the other baby. And I don't really want to have that for me or Camilo, because then it's kind of feel like I'm letting my first son down. Like, you know, that sucks. That's ass. Like, I couldn't give that to you, so I'd rather not give anyone anything. Like, you get me? It sucks so much. Like it's crazy, like looking back at like a lot of things, you know, like you really thought it was good. And I did. Like, I literally remember posting specific clips being like he takes care of me, you know, like, oh, like he you know, he rubs my feet, he like he cooks for me, like, you know, he does all this. Like, yeah, he did all that, girl. But like, yeah. And I'm like, I know, dude. Like, so it was so bad behind, like, what they call it, closed doors, behind the doors, I don't know. But yeah, it like sucks. But I'm always gonna be like remembering the good parts, because, you know, I'm like that. And it just sucks. Anyway, I digress. As fuck. But basically around this time now, he did start asking about him. And like, I was like, okay, like, you know, I'll always respond, you know. So he was in Las Vegas at this time, like for New Year's. But basically the gist of all those messages, or like all of these messages that you're seeing, like, it sucks. Like, because, you know, he's somewhere else in another state, and he, you know, has to text, hey, tell my son Happy New Year, or like give him a kiss, or like, you know, and can't even FaceTime because the Wi-Fi their Wi-Fi was crappy over there or something. I feel like you could tell also through text. Or I hope you can. But basically, you know, like not like what's the word? I'm always going to respond, you know, to him, and I'm always going to let him know about Camilo, because that's just how I am, you know. We never really set up rules or anything, or like how it's gonna be. Never had a conversation, because as soon as I tried, or as I wanted to, he just completely shut me out. Like he just shut down. I did make sure to have like a little bit like more of a conversation about that recently, but I'll go into that in a little bit. But basically, so for these like, you know, messages, or for this time for New Year's, he was still like basically saying how, like, you know, all he's doing is like for us, and like that he loves me, that he loves us, that he wants us as a family, and I don't know what. And now, you know, I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, yeah, you know, I'm just like, okay, like pop off, I guess. I mean, like, you know, I'm not gonna like, and I literally told him this. I remember specifically one of the first times that I FaceTimed him, when I was bathing Camilo, because it was like one of the first times we were like, oh yeah, like FaceTime me when you're bathing him. I'm like, okay. And then it was at my sister's place. You know, like, you do what you need to do. You know, you're in Vegas, you decided whatever you decided to do. I respect that. And like, I think I told him, like, I don't really understand, but I respect it. I hope that you realize, you know, like, that I'm not gonna be waiting for you. You know, like, I love you very much, but I'm not gonna be waiting for you. Like, basically, I've told him, you know, way many times, like, you put this distance between us, you put this time between us, this like everything between us, so everything's all on you. But like, it's weird. It was weird, like, rereading the text, because I'm like, damn, he's fake. Okay. But like, you know, he'd be like, I love you, I want to get back, I don't know what. And I'm like, okay, he wants to be a family again. Like we really weren't a family in the first place, honestly. Like, if you actually, like, you know, looking back at it now, it's like, oh, you were literally low-key living a double life. Like, you're faking it the entire time. Then it goes on to, like, you know, talking about, you know, basically when the next time he's gonna come, and asking if he could sleep over. And at first I was like, yeah, because from that point on, I was like, everything is, you know, about Camilo, right? Like, there's no more us. And I literally, guys, tried to reiterate that in every single way I could, like, that I'm done, like, I don't want to get back with you. Like, I tried so many like in person, like through text, like everything, guys. I don't know if I really don't know what goes on in his head. Like, I don't know. But like, it's like all he wants to do is have sex, and I'm like, oh my god, like, you don't even want to be here to enjoy your son, like, to spend time with him, bro, like quality, like, time, to make memories or something. And I remember specifically, you know, getting his birth certificate, because my sister Yaya helped me get it. Like, she took us, it was just like, you know, like a whole process, but like, it was fast and it was easy, and I was so like content and proud of myself. I'm like, damn, like, this entire time I've been literally asking my partner, like, hey, like, let's go get it, like, you know, we could take the train and make like a whole day out of it or something. Nothing. I asked my sister, like, hey, do you think you could take me? And she's like, yeah. We just went, like, got it done, and we got Jollibee after or before. It was the best. It was fun. And then I let him know, and he literally ignored it, didn't say anything about it. And I was just like, wow, like, I did something very extremely important. You know, you have to have your birth certificate. No, like, crickets. Literally did not reply to that text. I don't even know if he saw it. He didn't acknowledge it though. He obviously must have seen it. But like, I'm like, damn, like, this is our son. At least thank you, bro, for this entire time. At least a thank you. I've never gotten a thank you from him or his family. Like, hey, you know what? Thank you. Like, I know that, like, you know, so-and-so, you know, isn't up to par, isn't, like, you know, there literally every single day like you are, like your family is. Like, so thank you. I just appreciate what you're doing, you know, raising Camilo. I haven't gotten a thank you from him. Not that I, you know, expect it or want it either. It's just crazy, because it's just like, dang, like, I like it just for a birth certificate, bro. Not even a thank you, like, hey, thank, or like even a thanks, like a lowercase THANKS, thanks, nothing. Like, that would have been like, okay, like, at least, like, you're welcome, bro. But no, you're welcome. You, like, ooh, and I told him this. Like, you saw me there, bro. You saw me give birth. You were with me. You're with me the entire time I was pregnant. You were with me. We were like together for like an entire like time. Like, it's so crazy. And then like you treat me this way and then you treat our son this way. I'm like, damn. So he did have his pediatrician appointment coming up, but throughout this whole time I'd let him know that, oh, we hung out like, you know, a place near where he got his birth certificate. He was just giving me all of his like advice, 2 cents, I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, you should shower him, like, you know, like, oh, like, do this, like, it's dirty, I don't know what, like, homeless. I'm like, he was good, like, girl, like, he was chilling. It's nature vibes, bro. Like, if you were there, you would have known that it wasn't literally dirt. Like, you would see it, guys. But oh, I was so annoyed because I'm like, who does he think he is? Like, he literally left, and then to give me, I'm like, you know, it's just, it's annoying. It's very much annoying because it's like, oh, he wants to be all like, oh yeah, like, oh, I'm taking care of him, like, even though I'm here. And it's like, no, girl, you're not. You literally, all you're doing is just literally commenting on like little ass things, just because because you can't even say thanks for getting our son's birth certificate. You have to comment about, like, you know, where I took him, like, you know, like, to like make sure he's clean. I'm like, yeah, of course I make sure he's clean and make sure that he's good and safe. Like, what? Like, I'm not the one that let him fall off the bed, girl. Like, ugh. Oh my god, that time was horrible. But anyway, and then I didn't even blame him. No one blamed him. And we were like, oh my god, let's just be careful for next time, because we understand accidents happen, even though we're not really sure if it was an accident. But, you know, we gave him the benefit of the doubt. And obviously our number one concern is always going to be Camilo. We're never going to be like, oh, pointing fingers. It's like, no, let's focus on Camilo, and then that's that. Let's just be sure that it doesn't happen again. But yeah, anyway, the pediatrician appointment was coming up, and it was, I believe, the 7th of July. It was a Monday, and I think and it was, to my surprise, literally, oh, because then he was like, when should, because he was still in Vegas at this time, but he was going to come for his appointment. To my surprise, he showed up early, like, to the appointment. Not like early, like, he was on time. Like, he signed him in, and I was like, oh wow, like, he's there. I was like my family, we were shook. Like, literally shook. Like, it's sad. But we were like, oh my god, like he came, like, he's actually there. And I do admit, and I did apologize to him, like, sometime after. I was like, you know, because I really wasn't on my best behavior, like, because I was very honestly mad and furious. I was angry, and I had it right, like, rightfully so, you know. And I acknowledge that I was acting, you know, out of hand, or like, not out of hand. I was just not in my best my best self at that moment for his appointment. I know this because I'm very self-aware, and my mom also noticed, and then we had a conversation about it after. But essentially, but then before this, there was also the talks about Camilo's party. Basically, he only wanted it to be like Camilo going with him. At this point, you know, even at that point and at this point, we're never gonna like allow Camilo and him, like, to be alone with him. Like, I literally told him, once Camilo is like can communicate, like, well, like, obviously, like, talk and like let us know, like, things, you know, and be comfortable, and or even asks, hey, can I be with my dad? Like, yeah, of course. I'm not gonna freaking what is it, like, shut him out of your life? What is it, like, not withhold? Or I'm not gonna, like, you know, take your, like, you know, your son away, your dad away. Like, he'll want to be with you. The thing is, though, you know, now he's still a baby, a toddler. We're raising him. You can't be with him, like, alone. I do not trust, like, and I remember I wrote this whole thing. You'll see it in the future, or like future later in the video. You'll see it, like, what I said. But basically, I was popping off, but I was like, yeah, like, I have so many reasons of why you literally can't, like, I can't trust Camilo with you, bro. Like, so many. But anyway, so there was talks about, like, the party basically we were doing. I ended up obviously switching what I had in mind, because I wanted to do a baptism, like, type of thing, but we never did it. And it was just like a party, you know, like a birthday party we had for him, as y'all know. So he went to Vegas, and then they said that they had a birthday party for his cousin or something, but he was supposed to, like, get to my place earlier. But then he was like, we have to sing happy birthday, I don't know what. And I was like, okay. In my head, I'm like, wow, He's prioritizing his freaking like cousin over his son. I'm like, damn, must be a very important cousin. Like shit. Like honestly, like your cousin over your son. Fuck. And it's happened many times. Like his cousin, his cousin's boyfriend, his uncle, his aunt, like his mom, his siblings. Like I'm like, wow, all these people are hella important. Like compared to your son, your flesh and blood son. Like this is why like you're not allowed to take him like alone. Not kidding, but it's the truth, guys. Like it's so crazy how people think that they have like, you know, a right, or like, you know, they're like, oh yeah, I'm this. It's like, okay, girl, you can be like, you know, also flesh blood related or whatever, but I'm like, ugh, like that entire time you did not care about our son, bro. Like literally, dude, I had not showered forever. Literally probably like a week I hadn't showered, and I was like, I really need a shower. Like, can you please take care of him? Okay, please watch him. He was like, I really wanted to smoke. It's because I need to smoke. And I was like, okay, like, you know, and me being like the freaking person I was before, I let him do that, you know. But also it's like, I didn't want to start something between us, like, you know, I always do, but for good reason, for good measure. Like, so like basically our son was left in the playpen. I had to go shower. I had to shower, you know. I have like reasons, you know, like I have to be like also good for myself. Like I don't want to stink. I don't want to feel like miserable. I always having like, what is it, my breast milk and shit. Like it was insane. So then my parents were like gone, right? And then I was just like, oh my god, he had this toy, and like he basically hurt himself with this toy, because like it's like a toy that you really have to be like supervising him with, you know, like in the playpen. And this guy was out there like smoking, bro. And I was just like, I didn't even fully finish showering, dude. I like ran out because then he started crying. And like I was watching him on the camera like the entire time, and I was like, no. And then I was just like, I don't even know if like I don't even, I had soap on my body. I like ran out, dude. And I was like, babe, like help me, because you know I'm like rushing trying to get out of the shower. I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to be all like naked as fudge, like, you know, in front of my son, like, you know, like that. I was like, oh my god. And I was just like, and he was just like, what? I was like, are you not seeing him on the camera? Like, he got hurt. He was like, yeah. And I was just like, what? I'm like, see? And I, you know, I'm very much, you know, when I get mad like that, dude, because of our son, like, I'm mad, bro. Like, I full on blow, like, I explode. I'm like, watch him, take care of him. Like, this is why, like, one, you're missing precious quality time with your son. Two, for fucking smoking. I'm like, wow, weed really was, or is, girl. Like, weed is his shit. Like, that's like his baby. That's who he's gonna end up marrying. Like, that's it, bro. That's for him. And like, it's sad because this one time he even told me, I think I mentioned this before too. Oh, in the end, Camilo was good. You know, I literally, like, I didn't finish showering. I just got like, I was just like, whatever, you know. And I was just like, okay, he's good. Because, you know, because of me. Oh, my lord, my lord, my lord, my lord. Oh my goodness. Like, and you know, and you could be like, oh girl, why do you have to shower then? I'm like, you know, and then you give me the reason, but it's also like, I can't do basic human like things, like hygiene, keeping up with my hygiene, or like being clean, you know, because I'm always with my son, because he's always like wanting to do whatever he wants. And you can be like, like you should have been like more like on his ass, basically. And it's like, girl, you have no idea. Everyone already told me, not everyone, his family basically and him are like, basically, you're always on my ass. Like, and I'm like, for good reason though, for good measure. I'm not just always like constantly like freaking like off your freaking ass for no reason, girl. I want you to be a better dad, a better person, better human being, not just for you, not just for me, but for our son. And it's crazy, like, guys, the amount of times I've tried, and he always said that I was trying to change him. I don't know what. I'm like, girl, I love you for who you are, what you did, what you were, like, everything. I just literally wanted you to be a better dad, a better partner. Like, stop literally cheating. That was mostly it. Get a freaking job, like a good job, a good paying job, a steady job. And like, let's, like, you know, basically like enhance ourselves, like for our better of our future, better of our son. Like, let's get a place, let's get a car. That was it. How was that changing. Like, you get me? It's so funny. And it's like crazy because like I remember his family be like, oh, she's so controlling, and I'm like, weird. Like, I think I'm very not controlling, bro. The only thing that I really wish I could be controlling, like, you have no idea. The only thing that I'm very like sure, like, I have control of my hair, you know, my body, like obviously how I express myself, like, you know, my words, my actions, my choices, how I have my room layout. That's basically it. No, I'm kidding. And then, you know, like, there's so many obviously things, you know, but it's not like I'm gonna have like control or walk control of my partner. And it's very funny because they would always be like, oh, she's so controlling, and I'm like, whoa, like, how? I'm just trying to very like much level us up. Like, is it because like you see, like, you know, him, you know, like the father of our son is getting more like, you know, independent and like being more like, you know, progressive with his life, like progressing. Weird. I don't know. Maybe just want to kind of keep him like as a pet, like they usually do. Like, I'm serious, guys. You have no idea. Like, I think it's literally just me and my family that see it, because we're all like, what the hell? Like, he's basically the one like doing everything. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like, you should see it, like the way that like his mom, like, you know, like treats him. I'm like, wow, like, that's your son, bro, and you make him do it, like everything. I'm like, ooh, like, kind of like you have children to like kind of like do things, you know. And I'm like, oh god, like, he's the one that's like supposed to be taking care of everyone. I'm like, oh, okay, I hope he has time for himself. And then they're like, yeah, like basically he does, but he smokes weed. And I'm like, oh, nah, y'all, like, basically, like, you know, letting him keep that like habit going, bad habit, like, ugh. I remember this one time he did tell me, I think I let you guys know, that he was like, oh, because I told him, I thought you had aspirations, like, I thought you said you wanted to be a cook or like a chef, and you wanted to go to culinary school. And I was literally, I told him I was willing to pay for it, bro. And then, oh, if not, he said like a director or something along those lines. And then he was like, huh? No, I never said that. I have no aspirations. And I was like, he was like, all I want to do is smoke. I was like, well, if I had known this, I would not have like been with you like from the beginning. And then he just got quiet, and I was just like, oh my god, like, you literally, and I kid you not, guys, he literally said this, that he wants to be a chef or like a cook. I think he said chef, or he wants to be a director. That's why I was like, oh, okay, like, this guy has like, you know, at least like something in mind, not just doing nothing and just smoke weed. Like, what the fuck? And it's funny though, because, you know, from that time when he was like, oh, like, I'm gonna like leave at the, like later than we said, or that he said, because of his cousin's birthday. I was like, okay. And I was like, that's gonna be too late. Like, also, I'm just like, why, like, all of us, my family, like, specifically because of my family, my parents live with me, my parents and me, you know, mom, dad, me, we were all like, it's kind of weird that he comes at night. Like, what's like he's literally coming when Camilo's already sleeping. And this has happened multiple times throughout, you know, this time that, you know, he's been in LA, you know. And I'm like, yeah, it is kind of weird, but also at the same time, you know, I very much just still wanted to be with him, you know, all this stuff. Like, I'm very much, you know, sentimental, and besides the fact of our son, you know. But we're always, you know, before we were always like, yeah, come over, like, whenever, like, you know. But like, obviously it's like, it's for your son. Why would you come like literally after his like good night time? Like, it's so weird. So then we know it's better to come in the morning. Or, and then that's why I was like, we'll just see you at his appointment, like, why bother? But his thing was basically probably to get a ride, like, with us to go to his appointment. Like, ugh, always using us. Anyway, so at the appointment, this is what I was going to mention. I didn't say hi to him at first. Like, I just got oh, my mom was carrying Camilo. So she was like, mira, ¿quién es? Like, look who it is. Like, it's Daddy, it's your papa. And then he was like, hey. And then, you know, I was just like off to the side. He pulled out his phone, and that's what ticked me off, because I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, you're here seeing your son, and you're gonna really whip out your phone? Like, bro, like, not to use it, but like to show our son something, like screen time, basically. I'm like, for what? It's not like that he's like even crying or whining to be like, hey, like, let's calm down, or like, I've tried absolutely everything, let's use like our phone, let's use screen time, you know. He just and then I was just like, hey, like, we like try not to like to use like your phone too much, like it's like, you know, screen time basically, like what the fuck. And then he just looks so pissed, dude. And after that he like completely was like very like quiet. Because like at first he was like slightly weird, like slightly like making small talk, and then afterwards he just like shut down. I was like, okay, like he obviously didn't like that, but it's like you have to respect. Because one, that was like in that last video, like in my notes, that's all I literally wanted to tell him. Like, please respect my boundaries, please respect, like, you know, like my parenting stuff for, like, you know, our son, like, because I'm the one that's literally with him. My family is like, it's so annoying. Then he doesn't respect it, and I'm just like, oh my god. And it was kind of hilarious because when the doctors and nurses were talking with us, like, it was literally more with me and my mom, because the father had literally no idea of where Camilo was, and like for his what is it, for his development, you know. Yeah. Even, you know, since before, I'm always the one filling out the forms, I'm always the one doing everything, setting up appointments, like making sure the insurance is good. I'm literally the number one like a parent, you know. I'm the main parent. And it sucks because it's like he's always had a chance or like he's always had like the right to be like, hey, like I need the information, can I get that information, like let me set this appointment up, let me, you know, be like in charge, or like the, and it's like he doesn't want to take initiative ever, and it's crazy. Even though I've literally asked him to multiple times, like, hey, it would be really nice if you take initiative, like for our family, for you, for yourself, for us, for our son, so he could see, and like, you know, you could be a like better role model for him. But no. But anyway, the appointment went well. Camilo is very much, you already know, lit. He's lit in his development. Like, he's very, you know, where he's supposed to be, and I'm very proud of myself for that. I'm not kidding. I'm very proud of him, you know. It's for even like, you know, whatever, even if he didn't, you know, everyone grows at different rates at their own like pace and stuff. After that, I thought that he was going to come back home with us. He didn't. He just left, and I was like, wow. And for that time that he stayed in Las Vegas was the only time that he saw his son, just for the 2-hour appointment. I was like, damn. I felt let down, but like for Camilo, you get me? Like, I was obviously like, you know, like hurt, but like at the same time I'm like, okay, this is how it's gonna be, then okay. But like, you know, I'm like, damn, like that's your son, bro, like that's our son. Ooh. Then it went on, because the thing is, when we lived together, when we like, you know, we're together and everything, he would help him and I, because, you know, I would also pitch in, you know, we'd pay rent, and then also storage rent, like for a storage unit that we have, my family and I have. So the thing is, he had a lot of his clothes in there. He had a lot of things in there. Also, besides the fact that he had a lot of clothes and like things and items here in our apartment. So I packed everything and I left it in the storage, you know. And then, keeping in mind real fast, I had to put a lot of my personal things in storage to make space for his things when he moved in. And not once did I ever get a like thank you, or like, wow, you really thought about me like that, or like, wow, like you didn't have to make space, or like, hey, I bought this dresser, let's bring back like some of your clothes. Like that entire time, I think that's why I felt so like bad about myself and so down, because I'm like, all my lit clothes were in there. Like, you know, I have, obviously your body goes through changes, you know, and I'm just like, damn, like he really like, he never like, you know, it would have been nice, not like that I need new things, but it's like, it would have been nice to actually like, you know, have gotten something from him to be like, hey, yeah, like I'll do it. It's literally always been, it was me asking like, hey, like, do you think I could like, you know, I could get this? And then he'd always be like bothered by it, like, oh, it costs that much. And I'm like, okay, like never mind, like I really don't need anything new, like I guess, like fuck me. Like I was pregnant, like I had a baby. Like I'm not important. I'm kidding, I'm not kidding, it really was like that, guys. Like I like, not like sugarcoat it, I like, you know, I make it light of it and it's funny now, but not really. But like it's kind of funny and like insane, because I lived through this and I let myself get like put through this. Like I allowed this and it sucks, but you know, now it's like, okay. Like, I'm no longer with that person. I do not want to be with that person ever. You're like, ever again. So yeah. Single for life. No, I'm kidding. But basically, he had things in his storage, and he was like, asking to like, can you get it out? I don't know what. I'm like, yeah. And then I asked, hey, do you think you could pitch in? He said no. I was like, okay. Literally left it at that. Like, I wasn't like, oh my God, like, you don't do this. I was like, okay, I literally understand. Because I'm like, I get your situation. Like, bro, I get it. But don't take advantage, bro. That's the only thing. Like, keep it in mind, Like, my family, dude, is so generous. I'm generous. Specifically my mom and my father and me, Besides my sisters. They're generous in their own way, but like, we're very just generous, like, in general. So like, and I'm very, what's that called? I don't even know if it's nice, kind. I'm very sympathetic towards people. And I think because it's, I want to treat someone how they would treat me, So it's like, okay, you can't do this, you can't be. It's like, I got you then, like, don't worry about it then. It's fine. I understand. But also at the same time, don't take advantage of my kindness. Don't take advantage of my generosity, Plus, this was around the times of the fires. We were literally helping my sister and her boyfriend move their like 6 cats and 2 dogs from like like all from over there in like the Santa Monica area to here. So I was just like, oh my God, like, we got things to do, bro. Like, you have to be specific. Plus, you're not even gonna see your son. Like, I'm like, damn. But anyway, so this happened in person, because I really did think that he was gonna come back to like, be with us, basically, at least hang out with Camilo like at his home, like here. This was the time when he got him this little like Shrek plushie. He came in the car, and I was like, damn, like, this, it felt so weird, dude. Like, it's so weird seeing your ex again, like, in this way. Like, when you have a child, it's like so weird. It's so like mind fucking and like mind blowing. Like, I still like, it's so like, it's so different, like. But anyway, like, I think I said hi that time. Like, I actually like nodded. I was like, oh, hi. And then he was like, hey, like, and then he was like, I got something for Camilo. I was like, oh. And then, he got his things. I remember he was just like, taking out his jackets that time from this red bin. It was my Valentine's Day decor bin, but I made space. It took out everything basically to make space for his jackets and stuff. And then I was just like, just seeing him there, I was like, damn, he's really he's going through with this, basically, like, he's starting to take things from the storage unit. And I was like, okay, like, but because I packed things when I first, like, packed everything out from our apartment. I packed it specifically in a way so where I could unpack it easily if he ever decided to come back. I wish he never did. But I was like, damn, like, harsh, guys, literally harsh. But then I remember saying there and being like, damn, this is it. Like, he's not going to stop. Like, he's not going to be like, you know what? Like, this is dumb, Mia. Like, let's just, like, something. I was like, nah. He's going to go through with it. And then I remember when he got out of the car, like, to leave, as soon as he got out, I started crying. Like, it was so, like, it sucked so much. Because I'm like, this person, like, we were together, we fell in, like, or at least I fell in love. Like, I had a moment, like, we had a baby. Oh my God, it was insane. I started crying. Eventually I stopped. And then, yeah. Anyway, then I was like, oh, I sent him a picture of how I like styled or decorated Camilo's crib, because I was like, oh, I really thought you were gonna come. But you didn't. But anyway, like, look, this is our son's crib, because I get excited. But basically the reason of why he didn't come was because my sister was here, and it's always that like excuse, I guess, or his reasoning for not ever visiting Camilo. He's like, oh, well, your sisters are there, and like, he doesn't want to talk to them. I'm like, girl, my sisters don't even like want to acknowledge your existence anymore, like, or been not wanting to acknowledge your existence. Like, what makes you, like, literally, what's like the problem? What's the deal? So it's weird. But anyway, back then, he was just still the same. He's like, yeah, I don't want to go when your sister's there. And I'm like, that's so weird, because it's like, why would you prioritize like my sisters basically over your son? I'm like, girl, if I didn't like a freaking like someone there, I would still go. That's my baby. And like, what? But anyway, he was like, what's wrong with throwing like his first birthday party at Shakey's? I was like, I didn't say there's anything wrong. Or he's like, why don't you like it or something? I was like, I didn't say that. I literally never said that. He was like, didn't kind of basically like, because I texted like weird about it. I was like, oh, we'll just talk about it in person. That's literally all I said. That's how I was just like so like sus. Like, why does he think like, I don't know, bro. Anyway, as you see in the text, I'm like, yeah, I don't think like anything of it. I don't have a problem, like, you know. And then later on, I did find out, but like he never told me specifically. He told my mom or my parents, because they were like, oh, so why Shakey's? And they were like, and then he was like, oh, it's a tradition, like my family does. I'm like, oh, like your family like does it, like your mom does it for your siblings, you're gonna do it for your son? Like, you know, that sounds like a sibling thing, and this is our son. I guess I get it if it's like a family tradition, like, you know, if it's happened for like, you know, his cousins and all that, then that makes sense. I just hope it wasn't like his specific like family with siblings, because it's kind of like, oh, not you seeing like our son as a sibling, like more proof of that. Anyway, then I was like, you know, kind of sad and like worried and distressed about the fires happening. So I reached out to him. Obviously, he's like the only person, as I mentioned in the text at that time. You know, he was like very close. We were very close. So I feel very like comfortable texting him, or like did feel comfortable texting him before about like anything and everything. Then he was like, you know, what he said. Then he let me know when he got to Vegas. Then, as you can see, I got mad at him. Like, you know, because it just sucks. And it's the truth. Like, he literally didn't spend that much time with Camilo. And it was only for a dentist appointment. It was like, you know, basically mandatory. But like, hard. Like, it's just insane, guys. It's insane. And like, I agree with like a lot of the stuff I said from back then, you know. Maybe my approach wasn't like super like well or like thought out, but like I had, you know, you just gotta pop off sometimes. And yeah, then he was like, okay, so my like, you know, his family member will pick up Camilo. And I'm like, like just Camilo? And I'll be like, okay, like I'll see if I could go, or like, you know, me and Camilo, girl, because it's not just gonna be Camilo. And then I had to pop off again because he asked. This is the time, you know, this is the part where I'm like, yeah, like you can't bring Camilo by yourself anywhere, girl. And this is why I said, like, you know, at the beginning, I'm like, if I was extremely petty, guys, if I was, you know, literally only thinking about me and not my son and not him, or low-key thinking about him, but like in a way of like, you know, not getting revenge, but like getting like even, I would have gone in full custody. And I can get full custody. Like, I could legit get full custody. But I'm not, because I'm not trying to be that bitch. I'm not trying to be that fucking person. Like, that's so, I feel like, you know, in many cases, and I'm different, you know, people that are in our situation, it's different. And I totally understand it, you know, like the dads get full custody, the moms get full custody, or they're split, or like, you know, there's like shared, there's like a lot of stuff. For us, it literally like would be so stupid if either one of us did something like that. Like literally, when we could just communicate in text, because like it's just, you know, when like some people are like, oh no, we're very much like we're like, oh no, it's all about the kids. Like we just connect through like, you know, aunts or like the grandparents, you know. Let's like, no, with us it's like he literally does not want to like text my family. I text his family. I text his sister for sure, and his mother from time to time. He basically does not like my family, and it's so funny because I'm like, damn, you're fake as hell the whole time. You literally live with my family, and like, wow, the disrespect. But it's so funny because I remember when I came up with this text and I was like typing it, I was like, yeah, I could win. No, I'm kidding. I'm fucking kidding. No, but like, it's just like so funny because then he's just like, okay, like, yeah, sure, you could come. And I was like, yeah, I know. I'm not gonna leave my son. Like, I'm not gonna let him go anywhere like alone, girl. Like what? Like, and not to be like, you know, rude, but like, and honestly, not around your family, like alone, like, oy. My goodness, guys, you have no idea. But anyway, he agreed. And then I was just like, okay. Skipping. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Then afterwards, he basically explained like himself, like why he didn't like, you know, spend that much time with Camilo, like all this. And then I was like, okay, like, you know, I understand, like, thank you for being clear now, because I don't know why and it always happens, something like kind of big has to happen, and then he's like, oh well, actually, like, this is why I did this. Then he explains himself, and it's like, why don't you kind of just like say like what you're gonna do from the beginning? Like, why not have that communication beforehand, you know, or like low-key almost arguing vibes. And he explained, and I'm like, okay, thank you for letting me know. Like, that's literally all I want, communication. Like, I don't know why that's so hard for him, and it's so weird because like I ask like, hey, like, how's this, and he just kind of like brushes me off or shoves me away. He's just kind of like I don't know, or like, like, why do you have to know everything? And I'm like, because this is for our son. Like, hello, like, why wouldn't I want to know everything for my son? Like, the fuck, wouldn't you? Like, it's so weird. But anyway, so then like he said this, and then I was like, okay, you know. And then he didn't reply. Like always, he just always like, he quiets down and he just reads or leaves me on read, because like he doesn't know what else to do, because I'm literally a nice person, you know, like deep down I'm freaking nice. Like, I'm not like a bitch or anything. I'm literally nice. Like, I'm not trying to argue, I'm not trying to start anything. It's just like, you know, if you're trying to like start something with me, I'll let you know the truth, you know, and I'm gonna like obviously stand my ground, you know, especially for my son. Like, how could I not? And then, you know, I'm nice at the end. I'm like, okay, like, you know, I just want us to be like good. And he'd leave it all read. And then keeping in mind that I think that text it said Friday, January something, but it was Friday like evening, 6 p.m. ish. I sent another text back the day after, because he never replied to that text. And then, you know, basically like, oh, like, hey, like, you know, letting him know about Camilo, because it's always me. He never asks about Camilo in that way. Like, send me pictures, I'm gonna call him, like, you know, all this, y'all have seen it. And I'm just like, okay, like, you know, you don't ask about your son, but I'm gonna let you know, at least for now. At this point, I was still updating him on Camilo, because that's his son, you know. It's also kind of like, you know, I want to feel good about myself, like that I'm doing a good job, like still trying to make him prioritize Camilo. You know, I send him like updates because I feel good about myself sending him updates still at this point. You know, it's not my job to do this, you know. I just felt like I wanted to do this, you know. And he didn't reply either. Like, a whole day went by. Saturday, January 11th, it was the 10th, January 10th, 11th, and then the 12th. And then I think he finally responded. But like, it's insane how he could go like days, weeks, months low-key without even like asking about his son, talking to him, like anything. I'm just like, wow, like, I'm so grateful. I have my dad. Like, I know what it is to have a dad. I know what it is to have a mom, like very good like parents, you know, that are always involved, always like there for you. And I'm just like, wow, how could he not like, oh girl, it's insane. Like, even though my dad was working like so much the entire time, he was always there with us. Like, you know, there's some people that are like, oh yeah, my dad was always working. It's like, my dad was always working, but he always made time for us, you know. Like, he made sure, girl, like, he literally on his breaks or like on the way to work, like, he would drive like a truck. He would like a truck driver. He would pick us up from school. He would give us rides still. Like, he made time. If it was little things like that, you know, just like, and I'm just like, wow, this is like, you were there. You saw me give birth. It's insane. Like, how someone could do this. But anyway, 2 days passed basically, or like at least a whole day passed. And then I sent him another text. And basically the talk comes up that he's like, oh, because I'm like, oh, he misses you. I mean, like, he's at this point, because before he left, before we broke up, he was starting to say like pa 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 pa, like pa pa, and like I was shook, because like he would say ma, but like it was more like his dad, because I would also try to be like papa papa. Like, I would literally want him to connect with his son, so I would make him, not make him, but like, you know, I would want to show Camilo like papa, like say like dad, you know, like this is dad. And like, as soon, you know, we broke up, then he stopped slowly like saying it. He would still kind of say it from time to time after, like, he would see like, you know, my ex, like, I would, you know, he would visit or something, like, but from that time that he only saw him at the doctor's appointment, you know, obviously he misses him. And like, I could have just imagined he probably dreams about him or something. And it would always happen each time since like then, like this entire time, whenever like he sees his like my ex, he always, like, his father, he always cries at night after like he leaves. And then like, it's just, he just wakes up in the middle of the night like crying, or it's just in his sleep crying. It always happens, and it like simmers down, you know, after some time passes. Then he sees him again, and then he starts crying. And then, you know, I think, yeah, I've never told his dad this because I don't want him also to feel like, you know, like, oh, it's my fault, because, you know, I don't know, but like from what I've seen, it always happens. He always cries, like, and it's probably because he misses him. He's probably like, you know, I can't imagine like how it feels to not have a dad. So I'm just like, Jesus Christ, you know. And it sucks because it's like, you know, you think it's like, oh, it's because it's, you know, my fault, but it's not my fault though, because even if some people, like couples low-key stay together, even living with each other, even if broken up, because they have a child, because they want them to live under the same roof and all this, you know, and like it's totally fine as long as, you know, their boundaries and they respect said boundaries. The father never respects my boundaries, and it sucks. And he doesn't even pay attention to Camilo in that way to be like, oh yeah, you're a great dad, you know, like visit all the time, you know what, you can even still live here, you know. That could have happened. He could have, you know, been sleeping over. But that's the thing, he's not like 100% about Camilo, and it sucks. And I've witnessed it, my family's witnessed it. You were there, bro, like you were there with me when I was pregnant. Like you could have talked to him like in, you know, through like my tummy, and you chose not to because you thought it was weird. And I'm like, oh, like Jesus Christ, like you think it's weird to be a dad? We think it's weird to be involved? Like it's sus. But yet all you want to do is smoke, and that's like crazy. And be on your phone, play video games. Like if you want to be single, go be single, but just leave us alone, you know. Like don't be inconsistent. That inconsistency is going to ruin us in the future. Then basically he's like, oh, like I asked when would you come, you know, or like next time, because you know he misses you basically. Then he goes like he doesn't have money. Him and his mother don't have money to be like coming back and forth. And I'm like, well, that's what you wanted, because when he left, he literally told me, and his mother was there, his siblings were there, they were here, they visited, like how like his visits would go. At least he said once a month. I'm like, dang. In my head, I think I even told him too, my parents were there, they heard him say this, they're like, I'll visit at least once a month. I'm like, damn, can you guys imagine visiting your literal like months old son once a month? That you like, damn, I can't imagine doing that. Hell no, the fuck, that's my son, bro. Like that sucks. And it's not even to be like, because he had plenty of chances. This is the thing though, he had so many chances, he still has chances. He just always wants everything handed to him on a plate, like this is what you have to do, like, you know. And it's like, no, like the hell, you can't even think for yourself, think for your own self what you really think you need to do to get back with like your family, to get your family, like work on yourself, man. That's all you have to do. And then you'll probably have like different revelations or something, and then be a hard worker. Like, you know, it's not even for me anymore, it's literally for your son. And that's the thing that's crazy, you know. Like not even because like, you know, you have a human being, like newborn child in your life that you're not gonna change and you're gonna stay the exact same. Oof, can't relate. Then basically he told me that like, because I was like, oh, if you need any help, like let me know, you know, because I'm very generous. I care, bro. I care about my dog. I still care about him, like, you know, I care. Basically he asked me for money. I'm like, wow, because I'm a single mom now. I need that money for my son. I don't have just extra money to spend, but obviously I want to know how you are. If I have like, if it's in my possibilities, I will help you. I will try my best, you know. But like, wow, you ask for money? I was shook, guys. I was shook, because he has like negative 100 something in his account. I'm like, wow. And it's funny because now, ooh, guys, I'll talk about it in a little bit, but ooh, he bought himself a scooter. He bought his sister Labubu. I'm like, wow, y'all have money, but you don't have money to freaking spend on your son. You don't even have money to like buy some milk for him. Like, wow. Without someone reminding you to buy milk. You don't do it out of the kindness of your own heart. And you ask me, a single mom, for money? I was shook, guys. Did I help him out? Yeah. Did I send him money? No. Hell no. That money's for my baby, the fuck. Then he asks, like, you know, we have some conversations, but, you know, I'll show everything here. He asks to claim Camilo on his taxes. I'm like, hell no, the fuck? Like, what? When? My sister, if my sister didn't get him that job, he literally would still be jobless, guys. Like, for real. Yes, he got fired, but also because of his own like being, his own doing, you know, like he was treating the dogs really bad. So anyway, and the manager could attest to that. But like, and then I was like, oh, well, because like, you know, he knows I've been getting the like help from the government, you know, and I still am, but like they know I'm working, so I'm getting less, but like I'm like, you know, it's still like a help because that help's going to Camilo. And I'm like, well, the thing is, and I would always ask him because he is supposedly on his mother's like Cal benefits thing. I would always ask him, hey, ask her to take you off so I can add you here so then you could claim Camilo. I literally told him that, and then, you know, he never did it. So I was like, well, honestly, like this entire time, my dad's the like head of the household. He's been taking care of Camilo, like, you know, helping me and everything. He's gonna claim him on taxes because they called me from the Cal benefits, basically like, who's claiming Camilo? And I was like, my father is. They're like, okay, perfect. They were like, you know, they have it all down. And I'm like, yeah, I already let them know, like, you can't claim him, basically, you know? And he's like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, there's literally nothing you could do. Then he's still asking how he's doing, which I'm like, perfect. Keep on asking about how our son is, girl. You need to do this. Like, you know, like, this is how I know you want to be involved in his life. They made a weird joke about him looking like Darla, and I was like, what the fuck? Weird. Then I think I remember this. I think I was listening to, like, Olivia Rodrigo's, like, how does the song go? Like, I'll miss you, and I hope that you're okay. Da 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 da. Nothing's forever. Da da da. That song. I was like, oh, I was in my feels, and I sent him this like big text, basically being like, you know, I miss him basically, but it's like, you know, I miss what we had and stuff, but it's not like I want to get back together though, you know. It's like I just missed, you know, everything because he was my friend, you know, like obviously the father of my child. It's like a huge history chunk. And then he was like, yeah, me too, I don't know what, like he's just waiting for his job, it's financially difficult. I'm like, oh well, I'm sending him all the positive vibes. I'm like, oh, I really hope you know, you get the jobs, you know, because he was supposedly 2 jobs. And then yeah, basically after that it was just like, you know, that he misses me and Camilo, and then that I miss him and Zeus. Okay, so basically I lied to him because I was like, oh, like I told my coworker that, like, you know, about the whole situation with Zeus and that he's gonna buy Zeus food, but it was really like me, my sister, and her uncle, her boyfriend, that like basically all like pitched in to get Zeus food, you know, because we were like, oh, what should we do? And then we signed up for like a lot of stuff, and then we got like free food basically, but like they helped me so much to do that, you know, and like to send it to Zeus. They helped me like so much to get like a lot of like what is it, but it was really my sister, her boyfriend, and me. Like we like signed up for a lot of stuff online, and then, you know, basically getting free food shipped to Zeus in Vegas. And but I lied to him because I just wanted to see what he would do. Like, you know, I didn't really lie at the same time because there were a lot of like low-key guys at the time, because this is when they found out, like posted a lot being like, you know, I'm single, I don't know what, like, you know, single mom vibes, like you know, baby daddy left me and all this. And like a lot of guys started hitting me up. I was like, damn. But there were a couple of guys that were like, oh, like, yeah, like we should get together, like, you know, with your son. And I'm like, like, no, what the fuck, I ain't trying to like have my son meet like someone like that, you know. Friends, yeah, hell yeah, but y'all, we aren't even friends, you know, to be like that. So yeah, I was just like, yeah, you know. And he was just like, all right, tell him thanks. And I said it was a guy coworker. Then this is the part that was a little weird, because I let him know that like because Camilo had a really high fever this time. I was literally about to take him to the hospital, but it calmed down, but like it was high, you know. And then he was like, oh, I'm gonna see when I could go. And I'm like, are you only coming because he's sick? Like, you know, in my head I'm like, that's kind of weird because you literally just told me like low-key a couple days ago, if not like a day ago, that you were like basically poor, that you don't have money and stuff, you know, and that it's gonna take a while for you to come back to LA. So I was like, weird. But yeah, I let him know that he was sick, you know, because also I'm gonna, you know, at this point I was still actively letting him know stuff because he would still ask at this point. Okay, then he let me know that like basically he's gonna see Camilo, but he's also gonna be working. And I was like, okay, it was at the way he texted it was weird, but I just wanted to clarify. But he let me know that, and then I was like, oh, actually, like his 10 months is coming up, you know, like in January, late January, it was that he's gonna turn 10 months. And I was like, oh, I wanted to do something, and he had like a little like, you know, mini stacked pancakes, and then he wanted meat. Keeping in mind, he wanted the meat for Camilo. I was just thinking pancakes, okay? I want to say this because I don't know if it's sent in the text, but when the date actually came, Camilo, for the first time ever, choked on his food, on the meat. And like I was like, you know, I felt bad because I was like, Jesus Christ, I've never given or wanted to give Camilo. It was his father that did it, and like his father wasn't even there. Like it just, and he cooked it. It sucks so many like things. But like anyway, he was good, you know, but like it was scary because he's never choked before on anything because I always make sure. And then we were talking, you know, and then he goes, I can't wait to see you guys, or something like that. And I was like, what the hell? I don't know if he just thinks we're kind of on like a low-key break or something. I literally broke up with him. Like it was like, you know, a fact. Like it was there, like straight up, I broke up with him. So I don't know, like this whole entire time, literally from like that, like just December, January to now, like, or at least recently, but I'll let you guys know about the recent part in May. But like the whole time it was like as if we were like, he thought it feels like he was on a break or something, like we're on a break, and it's like, we're not on a break, girl. Like this is real life, we're not together, we're never gonna get back together. Like that's why he would always send stuff like, I miss you guys, or like I don't know what. I'm like like keep missing us, dude. I mean you missed out when you're with us either way too. But because, you know, like the whole food about Zeus, and then he was like, oh, it seems like your coworker likes you a lot to be doing this. And I'm like, I mean, I guess, I don't know, I don't really think about it much, you know. I'm just like very grateful that he did it, but you know, it was us, you know. And then he was like, oh, like it seems like you're moving on faster than me. And I'm like, I mean one, I probably kind of am, because I kind of checked out of the relationship. Like I didn't want to, but I mentally did check out. And you know, like in hindsight, because of what you did, I mean, like how could someone not, you know? But I was still trying to keep it together. I would never cheat, I wouldn't do anything. Like the fuck, that's not me, that was you. And I was like, oh, I mean, like I'm not really, but like, you know, it's not a competition either way. I'm like, you know, it was weird because regardless, basically he wasn't even in the relationship the entire time. He was always moving on with every single person while in a relationship. So that's why I'm like, it's weird. I don't know if he's kind of being like, oh, like you're moving on, like not me. And I'm like, okay, like you cheated on me. I don't know how you expect someone to also still be hung up on someone who cheats. Like weird. But anyway, you know, and then we were talking about that, and I was like, you're weird. Then he asked me a question, like, you know, and I said this, then we were just talking like big chunks now. And then he was like, oh, well, like this is Mia. And I was like, okay, like, you know, because I'm fine, I'm better, I'm like healing, you know. I mean, like, this is the thing, I really don't know or don't think that he knows or like thinks, or I don't know what the fuck was on his head, but literally I don't think he sees cheating as bad, guys. Because I was like, you hurt me so much. And he's just kind of like, and I'm like, you probably don't even know how this feels, or you can't even feel like empathy or sympathy towards me or for me, because he probably doesn't even realize what he did was so bad. And I'm just like, wow, you know, because then, you know, and then afterwards he's just like, okay, like whatever about basically what I said. And I was like, oh, you know, good for you, you know, that you feel this way now, like that you're in a better place. And then, you know, and I'm like, you know, I'm rooting for you. So I literally still tell him, he's never told me that he's rooting for me, thanking me for Camilo, nothing. It's always me, because I feel that way, you know. I'm a very, like I said, I'm actually a good person, yo, you know. Like I'm respectful as fuck, but don't fuck with me, you know what I'm saying? But like, I'm very respectful. Like my level of tolerance for a lot of things, ooh, very high. But anyway, then he changes up. Instead of getting an apartment for us and I don't know what, he's gonna now be living with his mom. And like, you know, basically they're going to be getting a house or an apartment and having a room or a space for Camilo. And I was like, pop off, you know, I'm done with you, you know, like hello. But like, it's cool that you're gonna do this for Camilo. Like, yes, I love this is showing responsibility, but don't make false promises like you always do. And I remember this because I don't know if I was listening to like a movie or a podcast or a song, but I said, you know, all these texts afterwards. And then he was like, you know, because I'm very much like, I loved you. And I thank the universe, God, Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it, that we met. Because if we hadn't met, if I hadn't stayed, if I hadn't gone through all that shit I went through, and from the beginning, Camilo wouldn't have been like here, like present, like earthside, you get me? And I'm so proud of myself because it was all up to me, basically, you know, like I stayed. And then he goes, well, no, I think the biggest lesson is I'm gonna be a good father. I'm a good father. And I'm like, or like I'm gonna be there for Camilo and that's it. I was like, okay. Like completely disregards basically of what we had. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, but I mean, thanks to what we had, we have Camilo. So I'm just like shook, because I was like, I'm very grateful for the relationship. I'm very grateful for all the time, all the good times, even the bad times, because he helped me learn and he helped me grow into a better person. And then this is the thing, I'm just like, wow, like, I'm like, okay, if it's all about Camilo now, perfect, like even better. He goes like, look, I really wanted to get back together. And I'm like, it's fine. Like I didn't. Like, in all honesty, I would have if something had changed, but obviously things are gonna be like this forever. So I'm like, I ain't trying to be like this, and it's bad to be getting back together, breaking up for Camilo. Like, as time went on, like he slowly lost touch about why he fell in love with me or something like that. And I was like, it would have been nice to know that you were feeling this when you were feeling it, but of course he never told me. Always told all these different girls about what he was feeling, and never told me, a person that actually cares about him. So I was just like, wow, this is a little like hard for me to process, because I mean, like, if we had talked about this way before, we probably would have still stayed together. But of course, he has to work on himself. But also it's like, things happen, and I'm happy that we're not together. Because also, imagine if I had stayed with someone like that, someone who's not communicative, because I'm very at a different point in my life. I'm at a very different level in my life compared to him, right? So yeah, I sent him a lot of texts that he sent before, like screenshots, letters that he's written me, before. And I was like, wow. Said this, I was like, because I was like, well, honestly, it would have been nice to know that you stopped loving me, basically, that you weren't in love with me. No, I just stopped reminding myself of I love you, and not just a person I'm in a relationship with, something like that. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, dude, I was like, is this guy for real? I was like, I mean, the person you're in a relationship is someone you love. No. I was like, then what the fuck is the point of being in a relationship? Like, I really think he confuses the thing as being in a relationship as like a thing, like dating. And it's like, no, being in a relationship is loving that person, being in love with that person. I was like, girl, we have a baby. Like, we had a baby. Like, you were with me when we were pregnant. Like, you literally felt like you weren't in love with me, but you stayed with me. I was like, what the fuck? Like, dude, it was weird. Like, if you don't have feelings for someone, like, like, it's sus. It's sus. Like, and then I was just like, what the fuck? Like, is this guy for real? Like, the emotion, like the lack of the emotional immaturity, guys. Then he came, or like he let me know like that he was coming to Vegas at this point. At first, he told me he was gonna come with us. Then he switched up and he was gonna go with his aunt's place, Then, of course, it always happens. Something important has to happen, or like something like, more important than his son happens, that he has to stay over there and then come like another day or something, like to see his son. I was like, wow. So Friday, June 24th at 3 p.m., around 3 p.m., basically, like that, he let me know he's gonna go through a couple of things, then come like, with us. And I was like, okay. And then he just basically like, we talked for like a little bit, and then no reply. I asked, hey, where are you? What time are you coming? No reply. And again, like later, like at night, like 7 or 8, then 11. And then like, I texted again after, but then he replied like basically at 2, 3 in the morning the next day, like Saturday, like, hey, like basically that his cousin wanted him to hang out with her boyfriend. I was like, oh wow. So you stayed up playing, you stayed up smoking, you stayed up hanging out. Good for you. Thanks for not letting me know. Thanks for not freaking communicating. Like, me, like, I don't know, and I don't remember, because I did stop letting Camilo know, because I would tell Camilo, like, hey, baby, like, your daddy's gonna come, or like, oh, guess who's coming, or like, oh, something's gonna happen tomorrow, because it's very good to let your child know. Yeah, he probably doesn't understand, but he understands at the same time, But so I stopped, because it just felt like I was letting him down. I was letting myself down. I'm like, girl, like, really? Like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, don't do that to your son. And of course, like, it's always like false promises. It's always that, like, with him, and it's crazy. But that was the reason, because he hung out, basically stayed up smoking, like, Okay. Then basically I let him know, like, what his actions like bothered me, and why they bothered me. And then, we talked, and then basically that, like, he's gonna bring Camilo Tylenol and muffins and like some stitches that he got him, and he did. But I think from then, that was the only time that he ever gave Camilo anything. Then after, it was money, like the $40. That's it. That's all he's given my son. Like, to be like, oh, I'm pitching in vibes. That's it, guys. But before that, it was like, I think in December. Yeah, it was in December. Just like a formula he got him. I think it may be a Tylenol, but it was a formula. It was like, I could literally, like, counting the number of my fingers, the things that he's gotten Camilo since we've broken up. Crazy. In the last, what, like 6-7 months? It's insane. Then I sent the timestamps of when he came, and then afterwards, like I think around 2, he sent something like, "Oh, make sure he's like warmed up or something, or bundled up, because it was cold." And I was like, yeah, of course, like why the fuck would I make sure, you know? But like, again, he didn't stay for that long, and throughout that whole time that he like stayed, because we were celebrating Camilo, you know, we made him breakfast and everything. My family came, my sister took pictures and videos and stuff. That's the day that Camilo choked for the very first time. Then he asked again, like, if he could come over at night to like sleep over. And I was like, well, I mean, yeah, but before 10. I mean, like, his, you know, I tell him specific times so he could see his son. Like, it's not because we don't want him over, you know. It's literally because the point of him coming over is to see his son. Why else would he want to come over, you know? It's obvious to freaking have sex with me, and it sucks. But like, anyway, so then he came literally like, I think 9:58. He was like, I'm here. And I was like, bruh, like, he's asleep. Like, what do you want me to do? Then he's like, do you want a quesadilla? I was like, no, thank you. Like, the fuck? I'm literally gonna go to sleep too. Like, literally, what the fuck? But yeah, and I was like, damn. Like, and then he doesn't even come up like to him, even though he's sleeping, like, kiss him or something. He's just like, okay, he's asleep. Like, that's it. And I was like, yeah, like, you missed him. You could have come earlier. Don't know what important thing you were doing to not see your son, but whatever. He would be with him for like just a little bit in the morning, maybe if anything like an hour or 2 hours, because my mom would tell me like, oh yeah, like that he left like around 10 or something. I was like, oh, okay, because at this point I was going to work, I think. And then I was like, again, like, can I come over again, like, you know, sleep over? We were having sex though at this time, like, still. But I was just like, bro, like, if this is the whole point, or like, you know, like you know, of you coming over, because it's not even to see him, like, to like, because it'd be one thing if you'd like, oh yeah, I'm with Camilo, like, don't worry, I got him, like, you know, I'll make him food, like, I have his stuff ready. Like, it's like, no, like, it's just kind of like a like low-key babysitting like type of thing. Like, he's just hanging out with him, showing his phone, and he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna leave. And I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, so then he would come, and then, like, you know, we'd like be together, and then, but like, you know, just sexual intercourse, just like nothing, like, you know, like, oh, like, you know. But like, it would also mess me up very bad again, like, emotionally, because, you know, I'd be like, oh, like, all these feelings, you know, because also it's like, you know, obviously, like, you know, having like that, like, you know, intimate moment with someone, especially like, you know, the father of my baby, like, all this past, obviously it's gonna be like, right, like, Then I didn't realize this, but before, I don't know if you guys read the text that he's like, can I borrow the Dremel for dogs or something? I have a Dremel. The Dremel is basically like a nail filer for dogs, because he gets paid in weed to do the nails for like his cousin's dogs, or like his aunt's dogs where they live. And then I was like, I told him no. He didn't respect my no, and he stole it. He literally took my quick, not the quick stopper. Like, it's like this little powder just in case you do like go a little like cut off too much, or like it bleeds or something, you know. It's to stop it from bleeding. He stole that. He took that, and he took my Dremel. And I was like, wow. He didn't even let me know. I literally told him no to that, because I know that he's irresponsible. I know that he's gonna forget about it and all this. And I was like, wow. And then this is when I told him, I was like, and bring back my Dremel, because he was gonna come back or something. But then he was like gonna be like late, and I don't know what. I'm like, the point is to see your son, like, not just like to fuck me, like, the fuck. And then, like, you know, he was like, oh, I'll go this. And I was like, well, I don't know if you want to come or not. My sister's gonna be like coming. And he's like, oh, because he gets funky when my sisters come over, because he's just kind of like, I don't want to be there when they're there. He doesn't want to interact. I'm like, girl, my sisters don't even like acknowledge your existence. So I mean, I don't know why you're stressing out, to be honest. And I was being off, and I was like, kind of like, because I was like, you know, I was sick of it. I was sick of him, his actions, you know, his behavior. I was like, oh my god, like, you're not even pitching in for Camilo, bro. And then he's like, well, yeah, it's so bad I have a surprise to give you money. I was like, oh, well, I mean, everyone knows, if you're close to me, I hate surprises. Like, for real, anyone who knows me that's close to me, I hate surprises, bitch. like, unless you know me so well to know what specific surprise I like. But usually, right off the bat, 99%, I hate surprises. And he was like, I wanted to surprise you with money for Camilo. I'm like, oh, okay, then like, you should have said something, like, at first, because the way that you say it is just, I'm working. And it's like, okay, it sounds like you were literally just working for yourself. It's not like, oh, I'm going to help with you or with Camilo. Like, yeah, you should say something, because this is legit serious. This is like, I'm solo parenting. Hello. He did come before, like, he left, but he gave me $40 for Camilo. He gave me only $40 for Camilo. And the funny part is, not even funny, it was kind of sad. He was like, he has 30 and then 40. He was like, like, kind of like, which one do you want? And I was like, obviously the fucking 40, like, for Camilo. I literally, as soon as I got it, I put it in his piggy bank, like his little, like, piggy bank that he has. I was like, wow. I was like, $40, wow, like, coming from the dad, the father of our child. Like, okay. I literally was almost, and I told my family this, my sister, everyone knows, I was almost going to be like, you know what, keep it for yourself. You need it more than like he does. He's good, I was just like curious to know, because I was like, oh, if he's how much he's gonna give him. I was thinking literally like $200 minimum for his son. $40. I was like, okay, I kept it because I was like, I'll just keep it. But I was like almost to the point of I was literally gonna be like, you know what, you just keep it for yourself, girl. You need it more than like, we do. But anyway, then he left, but also he literally did tell me that the lady pays him in weed. And I was like, okay, yeah, I know you get paid in weed. Like, you ain't trying to, you ain't, like, don't lie to no one. You get paid in weed. I know you do. It's so obvious. Like, of why whenever you come here, it's for weed. I know. This is February. So he's back in Vegas. And when he was here, he asked me to be his Valentine, and I don't know what. I was like, he's like, would you want to go to McDonald's? Because they have like all couples eat free or something. I was like, not McDonald's. I was like, like, my Valentine was Camilo, my pets. No, I'm kidding. But I was just like, wow. And he said this, guys, like, dead ass, if like, if we ever do go to court, I bring this up, he has to say that. He did say this because it was the truth. We were literally there. We were literally cuddled up in my bed. And he was like, would you want to be my Valentine's? And I was like, and then like, he was like, oh, maybe we could go to McDonald's because guess what? Couples eat free. And I was like, funny, guys, funny. Anyway, so it was going to be basically, this would have been our 3rd year together, I think it would have been our 3rd year. I forgot, 2nd or 3rd year. I completely forgot, guys. But basically, for like when we met like, we went to Little Tokyo for our first date. Then I think either the day after, 2 days after, we went to LACMA. It was fun. It was really fun. But then I was like, oh, like, I remember I've always wanted to bring, when I was pregnant, I was like, we have to go, like, basically each year with Camilo to LACMA, because that's where we met. That's where, like, that's where, like, I fell in love, like, this whole thing. And then I was like, it sucks, because I'm going with Camilo. I'm going with his aunt, his uncle now, like, they're his padrinos, his godfather, godmother, and like, you're not there. Like, that sucks. But anyway, yeah, and we had fun. It was lit. Then he's like, I'm not gonna have money to go for Valentine's Day. And I was like, yeah, I know. I know. But then he asked how Camilo was doing, and I'm like, okay. Out of nowhere again, he asks, but it's taking him longer times to ask how Camilo's doing. And I'm like, ooh, keep that in mind. Then Valentine's Day comes. I invite him to Camilo's birthday party, because at this point, my family, no, my sister, like, my family, they're like, you're not gonna do anything with Camilo or like this? Because at this point, all I wanted was like an intimate thing. And I was like, yeah, because it's gonna be too much, like, also time, money and everything, to do a whole bautizo, like baptism and a party. I was like, I might do it next year, we'll see, but I do want something intimate with us. And they were like, okay. And then my sisters basically convinced me, like, let's throw a party for Camilo, like, at the park, something small, but like something like bigger than like something intimate with us. I was like, okay, but I still want something intimate on his birthday. And they're like, yeah, but let's throw a party. So I made the invitation. I invited his dad. He was one of literally the first person, if not the first, like, people like that I invited. I invited him on Valentine's Day. His response killed me as his father. I'll try to make it. You know what his mother told me? He said, we'll be there for sure. She didn't even come, guys. His grandmother, his other grandmother, did not come. His aunts and uncles from the other side didn't come because of the grandmother. I was like, damn, they didn't even show up. The father did, surprisingly, but also like, you know, crazy. And he showed up with this. It was fun. Y'all already know. You guys follow me on social media, Instagram, everything's there. The whole party's there. But yeah. And then he said Happy Valentine's Day, and I just liked it or something because I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, girl. Then like real quick, I had a bad dream or like a weird dream, and like, you know, I sent him this, I told him, and then he keeps on saying though, well, like, look, if we like fix things, like to fix things eventually or something like that, we have to be friends. And I'm like, well, I mean, I like the idea of being friends for Camilo, not to get back with each other. Like, and I would always tell him this, reiterating, I'm not trying to get back with you. I don't know what, it just se le va de la cabeza or something, like, you know, it just goes straight through or something. He doesn't really like know, or I don't know if he doesn't grasp the idea, the concept that I don't want to get back, and it's so weird. But anyway, then we were like, you know, just having conversation throughout like February. He let me know that he got his hair cut. Weird, like he shaved it off basically, like really short. He made it like a weird, low-key weird comment. Like he brought up the fact that like, because you know, he was also throwing a birthday party for Camilo, and then he's like, you know, the whole shakies thing, throwing the, you know, that party. And then he was like, oh, like what decorations are you getting so we don't get the same ones? And I was like, same one. I was like, I don't think it matters, you know, like I think it's kind of cool. Even honestly, like in my head, I was like, it's kind of dope if you get the same ones, and then he'll be like, oh, like lit, like this is party vibes, you know, like my first birthday, like Stitch vibes. So I was, but honestly, all honesty, I was like, why does that matter, you know? Like, then a month comes comes back basically, like he's in the, like, this is the point where when he comes late February, because he turned 11 months now, February like 25th. He was gonna come with his sister, though out this time Camilo's aunt, and I was like, okay, that he was gonna come at a specific date, late February. This is the point where he stayed until low-key recently, like early May-ish when he left. He stayed this whole time, right? Just keep that in mind. So he was like letting me know when he was gonna come and stuff, and I was like, okay, like, you know, all right. Then I made the very smart decision of basically planning out an appointment for Camilo to get his passport, for Camilo and I to get our passports. And I was like, hey, like, you know, when you come, do you think on a specific date, like Monday, like literally 2 or 3 days after he came? I think it was March 3rd. I was like, oh, because Mondays I'm usually off. I was like, oh, cutie, we could hang out, like the 3 of us, you know. And I was like, maybe like if you could help me run an errand, like I really want to get his passport, if you could come, you know. I was like honestly being as nice as I could, because I really needed this guy to come. Like, because you never know, I never know, guys. I can't trust like Loki, the father of my child, anymore. And so he was like, yeah, he'll come and all this. And I was like, perfect, you know, like, yes, I'm doing this, I'm getting things done. And then basically, oh, and then but one more thing, the reason why they came at that specific date I didn't know until a little while after, and I have proof, but I don't want to put it because it has their faces, like him and his sister, but I know, I have proof, you know. They went to a Big Time Rush concert, guys, or no, not a concert, Big Time Rush pop-up in LA. That's why they came. I was like, wow, must be nice. And it was to celebrate, you know, or like for his sister's birthday, which I get lit. But I'm like, wow, what about your son? But anyway, yeah, and I did get her something too. It was like a small gift, but like, you know, I got her something. Then basically, I guess this guy didn't know or realize that my parents would want to be invited to Camilo's party, like for the shakies. So he never added like a table for them. So basically, my parents had to pay for a table. My parents had to pay him money to go to our son's birthday party. Can you guys believe that? And like, you know, at this point, my father's eye like thing, what, like his surgery and all that was happening, like the surgery that went wrong, basically, it was happening. So we weren't like, you know, fully like, you know, well, like financially stable, you know, at this point anymore. So I'm just like, oh my god, like my family has to pay to go to my son's party. That's ass. Like, what the fuck? When he started living here, my dad did not ask him to pay rent, guys. When he first started living here. Then after some months passed, then we were like, yeah, like, we'll like, you know, like help out, pitch in, like, you know, more specifically him. I was pregnant at this time, you know. I stopped working because it was like a lot. Y'all already know this. But oh my goodness, guys, oh my goodness, The thing that's funny is that like they weren't gonna be like in LA for that long, supposedly. And then he asks, let me know, like we're gonna be here like in LA until this date or this time. Let me know if you need help with Camilo. I was like, okay, I'll let you know if I need help. I don't need help with him. Now if you want to come visit him, that's a different thing. But like the way he said it, it's like the way he words things, it's so weird. Like, let me know if you need help. It's like, oh, he's not like a little brother or like a sibling to be like needing help. He's my son. I'm always gonna need help because, you know, it takes a village, guys. It really does. But thank God I have my parents, like his aunts, like we're well, you know, we're good. But if you want to see your son, girl, pop off, come over. But like to say it in that way, like let me know if you need help, I was like. Then he sends me his birthday invitation March 2nd. I was like, okay, all right. I was like, thank you for inviting us. Hopefully me and Camilo can make it, you know. No, I'm kidding. But like, you know, I was like, thanks for inviting me and Camilo. Because like, I mean, yeah, you always have to invite me. I'm his mother. Like, I'm like the number one. I'm kidding. He invited me, and then he was asking to come sleep over for Monday for when we go get his passports. But of course, if he comes at a certain, like, you know, super late, what's the freaking point? Then he was being weird about that, you know? Then, of course, he switches up, being like, oh, because I was, like, by 7 latest. Because, like, you know, Camilo's, you know, his sleep schedule shifts all the time. So I'm like, you know, I give him a certain time. Also, low-key guesstimating of when he's going to go to sleep by, you know? Because also, he needs to go to sleep by a certain time. Like, literally, absolutely needs to. So I was like, this time, 7 latest. He did not come 7. He's like, I'm not going to make it. I really want us to be there. I guess I'll go tomorrow. Maybe, hopefully, I'll make it on time. I'm like, you have to make this on time. This is a really important thing for Camilo and me. Like, more for our son. What the fuck? But anyway, at first he said that his sister was going to accompany him. His sister never accompanied him. Then he's like, at first, like, oh, I have things to do. Like, I have to work after. I was like, okay, do what you gotta do. Then, like, we picked him up from the train. Like, we went to, like, the post office. We got everything. It was lit. And it's so funny because when we're together, like, all 3 of us, like, just alone, he acts like such, like, I'm the dad. Like, this is my family. He acts like that, guys. It's insane that he wants to start hugging me and kissing me, and I'm like, we're not a family, and then don't do this in front of Camilo. It's crazy. But then we got it, and then he sent me pictures that he took, because I asked him, you know, but like he took it on his phone and he sent it, because I always am ready to give him my phone, but he just took it in his phone. I was like, okay. Keep memories of us. I'm kidding. And then oh, but then afterwards, like, he still stayed with us, like, for like a little bit, because he went to go like to my dad's like appointment, something for my dad. And then we went back home, and then I remember Camilo, because we still had his playpen, he was there, and then he was just kind of like, okay, well, I'm gonna go. And I was like, you ain't trying to like play with your son? You ain't trying to hang out with him? Like, okay. He left. He was supposedly gonna come back, and I don't think he came back that day. Then a couple of days go by, of course, because he doesn't really like respond. I don't know. And then basically him and his sister, because I was like, oh yeah, you and your sister can come. I think it was like March 5th or something like that, like to see Camilo, because she hadn't seen Camilo, you know. And I'm like, yeah, like come. They came, and then it was like nice, it was fun because of his sister, because she would play with Camilo. He would kind of play with him. He would mostly be on his phone, low-key like arranging things to like bring Zeus over, because his mother was like sick of Zeus, because like he pooped in the room, and I don't know what, like her boyfriend stepped in it. I'm like, ugh. Like, jeez. And then she was like, because she's sick of Zeus, like, you know, like taking care of him, she's like, this is not my dog, this is your dog. And I was like, ugh, like, because she was on the phone with him. And then they always like are on FaceTime with her. But it's like, it's literally always just on the phone whenever he comes over, guys, like, for real. And then like and then basically at that point they were like, because she was like, you guys aren't staying, like, you're not sleeping over, basically, or like, you know, at my place. I was like, I was just quiet, you know. And then they were like, what? You said we have to go back. Because he talks like that. He talks all, like, aggressive. And then she's like, huh? Like, no, I basically like Zeus, you know? And then he's like, oh, like, basically, like, he could stay. And he canceled, like, he refunded his, like, both of the train tickets, like, you know? Because his sister can't go because she's a minor, you know? She has to be accompanied by an adult. He's an adult that, like, you know, so kind of company work. Like, he can't, so he got those tickets refunded, and then he used that refund money to bring Zeus here through like this app he's told me called like citizenship or something like that. But yeah, and I was like, bro, so you're staying longer? No. And I'm like, it would have been nice if he stayed longer for Camilo, you know, you get me. But yeah, anyway, so from then he stayed like for like until like early May. Then this guy goes, okay, like Zeus will be here at this time. Yeah, maybe you could take him to work or like have him with you. And I was like, he's not my dog anymore. Like, I thought I made that very clear from the beginning, like in December, because it would be so much on me to take care of my own dog, like Bonita, my cat Toby, my mom's and dad's, like my parents' dog Marley, my own baby child Camilo, our baby, our little puppy, like but big breed dog Zeus. It was a lot on me in the relationship because I was basically like, you know, trying to do everything. And he would always just want to go smoke. He would always just want to do this. Never take Zeus out to park to walk. It would be forced, you know, or he would feel forced and like very annoyed. So I was like, how could you think that I have time for him? I literally told you, I was sobbing. I was like, I can't take care of Zeus. I can't have him. It's so much on me because we're not together, you know, like it was different before. I tried so hard to keep Zeus. Like I fought so much to keep that dog, guys, because he meant so much to me. But I can't take care of, you know, my son and like, you know, it's so I was just like, what makes him think? And then also for work, like bring him to work, that was because we absolutely needed to before, you know, like now it was just kind of like, oh, you want me to babysit him basically for you? Like that's not gonna happen, girl. Like what? This is my job. Plus like the job, like at this point and like then it was getting like packed. So I'm like, I'm not trying to have him get in a fight because some dogs are very funky there too, you know. So I'm like, like I'm sorry, I can't do that. Like it was really nice to see him and like cool that you're taking care of him because you never really did before when we were together. But you know, I mean, it's not my job anymore. I care about him, but like, you know, it's not my responsibility. It's yours. And I literally told him, I gave him option before, like if you'd like, I could keep him for I don't know how long until I find a very good family for him, you know. But he said that he wanted him, so I was like, perfect. I'm very happy that you're staying with him, you know, because I can't and it sucks. Then we made like a scheduling thing basically on a Monday. We were all gonna hang out like at a park or something, but it was at the park, not my house. I never said my house. So then something came up with my father and I was like, sorry, I have to reschedule. And he was like, what day? And then I don't know if I said or he said Thursday, but we agreed on Thursday. Coincidentally, that was his birthday. Then he says, I'll be there. Like, I'll go tomorrow. Not really mentioning Zeus, but you know, I have a feeling that Zeus is coming. Not mentioning his sister. His sister showed up as well. But when they showed up, guys, my family was here and my sister and I, we were working on like Camilo's piñatas because at this time, you know, we're getting ready for everything ready for his birthday party. My sister, mother and father and my sister's two small dogs, Kai and Lucy, were here. Dude, I kid you guys not, my dad, they didn't even let me know. He didn't even text me. Like, let me just double check. Is it okay if I leave Zeus with you all day? I didn't see that text because I think we were like sleeping or something, you know, like having a nap, but I wasn't checking my phone because he said 11. It was like 11:38 when he sent that text. Then when he actually came, it was like 12. I was like, oh my god. But he didn't even tell me that they were here, guys. My dad went to go throw away the trash or he was washing. He came back up and then he didn't even notice that they were behind him. They came in, he let Zeus loose in the house. Guys, the thing about dogs, you know, it's not all dogs, but it happened in this case specifically. So Zeus left, right? He was a part of the pack. Marley, Kai, Bonita, Lucy. He left for a very long time. Obviously, it's going to be very different if you come into space just running in. All the dogs were like super, like, not aggressive, but like they were defending like us. They were defending my mother. They were defending Camilo, my sister. Like, you could just tell by the body language, you know, they didn't want to start something. But my dog, like the specifically, I think it was Lucy and Bonita or Kai, but it wasn't them, not really Marty. But they were wanting to, they were gonna like, you know, start like very much defending us. So then I was like, oh my god, like, you know, and then oh my god, Zeus barked so loud. Camilo literally shook, and in his heart started pounding so much. He started crying, and I was like scared, guys. I was like, oh my god, like get Zeus, you know. And then I caught Camilo. I like ran in the room with him. Oh my god, I don't know why he, like, this isn't his house anymore. This is the thing I don't understand. It's like he thinks that, like, this is like his place again, or like, oh, like Zeus. It's like, yes, Zeus lived here for a certain amount of time, but you left, he left. That completely takes your rank from where you were on their hierarchy to like literally a stranger dog, you know. So I'm just like, oh my god. I went in the room, we had a talk, he came in running, like the father. And then, like, you know, basically my mother was like, do you have his leash? Like, put him on the leash. And then his sister just had him there, and he peed, guys. He peed in our living room while he, like, his sister had him. She didn't even say anything. He just pissed, and I was like, oh my god. And afterwards, like, you know, like, we cleaned it up and stuff. But like, he pissed there, and I was like, it sucks because I couldn't even really say hi to him because I was more obviously worrying and caring about my son. Then we talked, and then he was just kind of like, oh, like, I didn't know that you'd have, like, you know, company over, basically. And I'm like, well, yeah, I honestly didn't even think you were gonna come. You never like texted anything. You never like let me know. He's like, I did. I just asked if you could take care of Zeus today. I'm like, obviously I can't. Hello, we never talked about that. The point was for all four of us to hang out at a park or the beach, not in my place. I was like, you come over, but we're gonna like leave. It was his birthday. I know he needed someone to babysit his dog. Like, it sucks, but like, you know. So then he's like, so you can't take care of Zeus? And I was like, no, like, I can't. That wasn't the plan. If hanging out, all four of us, meant me babysitting your dog and you leaving, like what? That makes no sense, you know? And then he was like, you know, oh, you should have told me you need to communicate better or whatever, like through the text. And I was like, next time be more clear. And I was like, but I was clear. I think it was you who wasn't clear. You did not tell me that you needed a babysitter for your birthday. That would have been different. This is just kind of like you laid it out flat out on me. Then he was holding Camilo. As soon as I was like, and then he was like, so you can't take care of Zeus? I was like, no. And then, but I'm like, nice, guys. And he literally handed me Camilo like a toy. He was kind of like, I don't even know how to, he was just like, okay, like, here then. And I was like, oh god, like, why are you handling our baby like this? And then he was just like, okay, then I'm like leaving, like, basically there's no point for me to be here then. I was like, yeah, I know, because it was gonna be the four of us. Their sister wasn't even gonna, like, supposed to come, basically, and we were gonna go to the park. You don't even have time to go to the park today, do you? Because it's your birthday. Like, you lied. It wasn't me. I'm not the one that needed to be more clear. It was you. So that's the thing that really ticked me off. And then, because it's funny though, because I did tell him happy birthday, because I was like, look, like, happy birthday, daddy, like me and Camilo, you know. And that's when I handed him to him. So it was just crazy, and I started crying. I was crying, guys, because like I was emotional. I'm like, it's sad and it sucks because we were supposed to be together, like, you know, for your birthday we could have done something as a family, but of course you always just want to be alone and single and smoke. But I was like, it is what it is, like, you know, like, it's just, things are different now. That's why I'm crying. And he's like, what is it, and he always does this. He like pulls me, he like kind of forces me like to hold, like we hold me, and I'm like to hug him. And I'm like, don't do that, you know? Like, he was always very like aggressive like that in our relationship. He would like pull me for a kiss. He would like, you know, get me like very like, you know, physical. And I'm like, oh my god, like, chill, be gentle. I would always tell him to be more gentle. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, you know, I started crying. I was emotional. I told him, like, you know, even my family was like, you okay? I was like, I'm fine. It's just, you know, it just sucks because we're not together anymore. Like, this is his birthday. Like, it sucks. And then he ticked me off because he was just rude. He was rude with how he handed me Camilo. Like, that's our son. Don't treat our son that way just because you don't get your way. Like, bad. You know, that's bad. And then, like, he stormed off. But you know what he said? He was like, okay, well, I'm never gonna come back. And I was like, oh, okay, like here? Or he's like, no, like, I'm not gonna get back with you. I'm like, okay, like, I don't want that. I literally told him, I'm like, I don't want that. I've never wanted that. Like, what? And then he was just kind of pouty, guys, because I think he expected me to be like, no, like, I do want this, but I didn't. So he was just kind of like and then he left. He stormed off. I don't know if he grabbed Zeus or, you know, but he didn't even tell his sister nothing. He just left and he slammed the door. I'm like, he always does that. Camilo was literally about to fall asleep too. I was like, bro. And then Camilo went like this because he was still scared from what happened with Zeus. I'm like, and he's really gonna slam the door? Guys, it sucks, especially his own son. Even when he was like a little baby, always slam doors, always yell, scream at me, and he would wake up his son. Horrible person, guys. Like, honestly, honest to God, he could be a good person. I know he is deep down, but his actions say otherwise, say different, you know. He stormed off, he left. He didn't even say like to Megan, like, hey, let's go or let's leave, sister, like, come on. She was just kind of like, oh, and then my mom told me, like, she looked so out of it. She was like, what? And then so she just followed him. I was like, doesn't even say bye to his son, he just stormed off. I was like, wow, shows what type of person you are, shows what kind of growth you've done. So then I was just like, wow, like, that sucks. Then afterwards we were like fine, like my family and I, because I'm like, yeah, I was just crying because, you know, of how he is. I don't know why he's so rude. Out literally that entire time, I don't know why he's so rude to me. And it's because I think it's the fact that because he's mad that I don't want to get back with him. And I'm like, why are you getting mad? You should be happy. Like, now you could finally be with all those hundreds of women you had on your phone. But you know what's funny? They don't want to be with you. And that's the truth. So I don't know, guys. Anyway, so that happened. That happened, guys. And I can attest this because my family was there, sister was there, like my dogs were there. It's insane. It's insane. And like, you know, I even told him to a certain point, I was like, yeah, like I should have been more clear. But the thing is, it was him. It was you. You weren't clear. I know you needed a babysitter. You just didn't have the balls to be like, hey, do you need to take care of this because it's my birthday, I want to do something. That would have been different. That would have been super different. But he didn't even want to hang out. He left, like, literally didn't even come for like 20 minutes, maybe half an hour max. Then they left. I was like, Then the sister posted on her story that she went to like the park with Zeus. Of course, because he was probably smoking. He was like doing some God knows what. Because he can't take care of Zeus. But yeah, anyway. Then I believe this is when the storage price was increasing, and I sent him a text. Courteous, you have within this month, the end of March. And he said he'll go pick up his stuff or whatever. I was like, okay. He knows. This is, I think, the second, if not the third time that I think I've like posted like receipts that I've let him know about the storage. At least twice I've let him know though, or have asked if he can pitch in something. Keep this in mind. I'm communicative about this. I give him time, right? Just keep this in mind, because at the end of the month, oh girl, this was the very first time that he has asked if Camilo needs anything. Before this, I would be the one, hey, Camilo needs something, can you get him this? From that time that he called him the Tylenol and the muffins, but he doesn't need the muffins. He just got, I told him about the Tylenol. Before that, it was the formula. So then he was like, let me know if Camilo needs anything, that he's gonna get his things from the storage. I was like, okay, he needs this. He did not get anything from that on that list to him ever. From that time to now, never. And my family could tell you this. I'm nothing. I don't know if he's lied to his family and like said, oh, I get him stuff, or like she doesn't even tell me. I'm like, yeah, no, because when I have told you, you don't, like, you literally don't give him shit. I've asked for so much, it's like, you don't give him anything, you don't, like, financially, like anything. Besides this, it's not my responsibility to be letting him know what my son needs. He should have like some consciousness to be like, oh yeah, I think a toddler or baby growing needs this, mentioning the storage thing again, when he's gonna be picking up his things. And I'm like, okay, like, reiterating, you have until the end of the month to get all your things, right? Then it was nearing, or it was getting close to the birthday party that we're throwing Camilo, like me and my two sisters, basically, like my family. He was like asking, because like since like a while before, like we broke up, well, like I really wanted to get him his first Build-A-Bear, because it's like not free, but you could get it for like $1, because it's like his first year. So I was like, we should do this, and I don't know what, Then it was like the time was actually approaching, but obviously we're broken up, so it's different, and like everything's different now. So he was like, are you still gonna be doing it? I'm like, yeah. And then this was gonna be after his party. So I guess he just wanted to know if we were still gonna do it, but I was like, yeah. Then it was the time of the party, and that was, I believe, March 22nd. And I hate when he would always ask stuff like that, like, do you want me to do this? Do you want me to go? Like, do you even want me? And I'm like, I really don't want you in my life anymore. Like, to be honest, on God, I want to be done with this person. Like, an ex is supposed to stay an ex. Like, you get me? But obviously, he literally has to be in my life, or if he wants to, you know, be a part of our son's life. But he has to be, you know, like in each other's lives for at least the next 18 years. You get me? But that's up to him, obviously. Just me thinking as two parents, you get me, should be at least like 18 years, you know, like to help parent, like, you know, co-parent at least. But we're not even doing that. I'm solo parenting, guys. But basically, but you know, with the help of like my family, obviously. But like, you get me, like between him and I. So I was like, yeah, of course, like, you know, you're welcome to come. I sent him the date, the time, the location, like everything. He had all the information, you know. It's up to him, you know. But I was like, it's not me that like wants him to go. It's for Camilo. Like, I'm done with him. Like, I literally, guys, I want to be done with him so bad, but I can't. I literally can't, because he's the father of my child, you get me? But also that's him, you get me? Like, oh my goodness. But then it's the time of the party, and then I guess at this point he was asking like, oh, you know, we were setting up, busy. It was really fun. Busy that day though, so I wasn't really checking my phone for text messages. I didn't expect him to come. I really wanted him to come, you know, for Camilo and like his family and everything, because we made goodie bags for like the kids. And I guess he asked like when the party ends. I don't even know, but it clearly says on the invitation though, like what time and everything, so it was weird. He came with Zeus. I was like, oh, because at first I was like, wait, who's that? And I was like, because it was from afar, I thought it was like a friend's brother or something. And then I was like, oh no, it's him. I was like, dude, he came. I did not expect him to come, guys, because he came a little like late to the party, and then he left early. But I mean, you know, whatever. And then I was like, oh, okay. Like, he came and he got him this really cool like one-piece poncho, and then like two, like, it says Salvadorian shirts, but they look really cool. They're like really huge. And it's funny because I got Camilo a same shirt like that, but it's smaller, so it fits him, you know, like better than those. Those are like for like big kids basically. But it's so funny. And I was like, oh, like, I was like, good presents. But yeah, we were there, and he was like kind of like, you know, obviously I try my best to be respectful, and he was like okay, but you know, it's just different because we're not together. Like, it's sad. I always told him, like, so many couples, so many families, they literally don't make it until they're like, for their baby to be a year. Like, everyone, like a lot of people break up before, and he's like, let's make it then, let's do this together, I don't know what. And I'm like, and Mira, and like, look where it is. We're not even together, we're completely separate. You live in a different state. Like, it's crazy and it's sad. So, you know, it's just like a whirlwind of emotions. But also, like, you know, at the same time, I'm very happy and fortunate that I'm with my son. Like, I'm literally with him, you get me? Like, so it's the best. But yeah, so that happened. After, the next event was gonna be his birthday, and then his party that he was throwing at Shakey's. Then he doesn't text for like 2 days, because that was March 22nd. He doesn't text until his birthday, March 25th. Basically saying that he doesn't think he's gonna be able to come with us, like at least for Build-A-Bear, because he has to take care of Zeus. And he's like, how long is he gonna be there? I don't know what. And I was like, well, no, we're just gonna meet for the bear, and that's it. And then he was just kind of like, oh, like, well, I'm not gonna make it. And I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, what do you want me to do? I literally can't do anything. Like, that's up to you. That's your life now. And he never called, guys. He never called. He never texted happy birthday or like wishing Camilo happy birthday. Nothing. Not even his mom. Like, no one wished him an actual happy birthday, like on his actual birthday, from his side of the family. So I was shook. Not that we needed it, or like, you know, but like, I mean, girl, wouldn't you want your dad to wish you a happy birthday for your first birthday? Yeah, I know. So it was just so like insane. I feel like he has this big ego, guys, that just keeps on preventing him from being a good father, a good person, a good human being. And like, and he rubs it in my face, like, you have to work on your stuff, you have to work on your ego, Mia. And I'm like, you kind of shattered me. You made my ego plummet to the ground, actually, because of all these people that you're talking, texting, like cheating on me with, like you kind of made me like hate myself, actually. So I have no idea why you're saying I have a big ass ego, like, sus. But anyway, yeah. So he didn't wish his son a happy birthday on his actual birthday. Yeah, I know. And then he, you know, his excuse or his reasoning was because he had to take care of his dog because no one can watch him. And I'm like, harsh. I mean, I don't know what you want me to do about it. I literally told you it's a huge responsibility to take care of a dog, especially a large breed like Zeus, especially Zeus, like a dog like Zeus. So it's like, it's hard. I mean, but you know, he takes priority, obviously. Like, he prioritized his dog into his son, and that's insane. And then but just real fast, keeping in mind these entire like visits and time of when he actually sees Camilo, right? It's usually when there's like an event happening, or there's like, you know, event like birthdays or something, you know, going out events that I ask him to go to, or like, you know, right now his like shakies thing. Or mandatory like appointments, doctor's appointment, pediatrician. Or I'm inviting him somewhere, like, hey, do you want to go to here with Camilo? Do you want to do this with Camilo? Right? Just keep that in mind. It's like never, if anything, rarely, I could count like the times of like the amount of times he's come over just to see Camilo because he truly wanted to, like, on his wholeheartedness. Out of those times, maybe his family literally like told him to go visit Camilo. So I don't know. I have no idea how many times, but literally the amount of times. You get me? Like, it's insane. He doesn't like no procura, like he doesn't like prioritize his son. He doesn't try like his effort. You get me? So from this week on, like, you know, like from that Saturday that I threw the party to the next Saturday, the 29th, I believe, for when he's throwing his party, he just kind of kept on asking like, oh, are you guys gonna come to the party? Like, basically making sure that we come to the party, you know. And then, you know, at this point my dad is like really bad, like with the surgery like coming up, because he had another surgery coming up, but he was kind of gonna be like waiting to have the insurance approved. Then once it's approved, we could like get the surgery. So I was like, honestly, we're not sure, like just wanting to let you know. Think, you know, good thing he asked, but like, you know, we're not sure. He got a package that arrived at my place. He was like, basically a package arrived at your place, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, one, why are you still delivering things to my place? You don't even live here anymore. This is my place. And then like, and I remember my mom sent me pictures. I don't know if I could like dig it up real fast and like through messages. I don't know if I still have it with her, but she sent me a picture because she was like, oh, I put like, because I had some of the things like from him, like, or of his, but a lot of the stuff was still in storage, and it was just like a small pack. I don't know if it seemed like a book or a game, I don't know, that he got delivered, and then he's gonna go pick it up, and that's why he came over. That was his reasoning to come over, not to visit Camilo. It was to get his packages, and he didn't even say hi to Camilo. Because my mom was like, he's sleeping, and she was carrying him, and then he was sleeping, maybe in his crib, and I was working, and then he's like, he just literally just went to go get the things. He didn't even say like, hi Camilo, or like give him a kiss while he's sleeping. Nothing. And my mom told me, she took a picture of him like getting his things, and I was like, dang, he didn't even say hi. She's like, nah, he just got his things and that's it. And I was like, and she was like, yeah, and he went to go throw away something in the trash. Like, he didn't even ask, like, can I throw this away? And I was like, because, you know, I mean, like, girl, at least, like, ask. He acts as if he still lives here. It's so weird. But then, yet, like, when his, like, family relative is with him, like, his sister, his mom, he acts like he's never lived here. He acts so, like, polite. And I'm like, girl, like, you're sus, two-faced as fuck. Then it was basically going back and forth about, like, if we're gonna be able to come. Then I was like, oh my god, he's like, if you can't go, we'll be like glad to take him. And I'm like, oh, now you're being nice, funny, but like, no, you know, girl. But I never flat out said like, no, you know. And then he was like, okay, then we'll just take him. And I was like, oh god, rude. That's basically like kidnapping, bro. No, I'm kidding. But like, girl, what? You're just gonna take him? So good to know that you have, like, you know, diapers ready, like his like milk ready, like specific bottles that he uses, because he doesn't use sippy cups, like, you know, the sippy cup. He doesn't use like baby bottles anymore. He uses straws, you know. Like, what are you gonna give him? Or like cups? Like, girl, you don't have anything. And like, you have to make sure it's this, he has this. Like, literally, we're potty training him right now. You don't even have a freaking portable, like, little toddler baby, what is it, toilet seat, you know, like on the go. You don't have that. Like, you don't have a car seat. Like, girl, the amount of things that you need. But anyway, Well, we went obviously because, like, you know, we were like, okay, just the thing is the ride that we need. And then it turns out that his Nina wasn't able to ride. We were like so grateful, but then she was like, oh, basically can only bring like 2 people. And I'm like, well, we're not gonna leave my dad alone. He's going through like a really hard time in his life. He can't freaking like see, like, Jesus Christ. And then I can't go with him because my mom basically needs to, like, you know, take care of my father. And I'm not gonna go alone with my son. Like, I need someone else to be there with me, because they know how we, like, you know, we're like a family. We don't just, like, it's not just me and my son, you know, like, Jesus Christ. So then eventually we're like, okay, like, we paid a low-key, a hefty, like, pricey lift because it was the shakies. Like, keep in mind, I'm like in Baldwin Hills, Crenshaw area. That was like all the way in, like, it was like a shakies like near this one movie theater. It's like far, guys, like East LA, but like there's one in East LA, like Cesar Chavez. It wasn't in that one, it was like farther. And then, oh my god, he was just crying the whole time we were in the lift because he was so uncomfortable. It was so hot, and oh my god, it was just bad. So then I was honestly like, and it's kind of like the same vibes with like going to freaking Vegas. It was not necessary to go say happy birthday to your mom. Literally not necessary as fuck to put our son through that. And did the mother apologize? Hell no. No one apologized. No one even asked. How did he do? How was it? How was Camilo? No one asked. No one gives a fuck about my son, and it sucks. I had to carry that whole burden because he got off to smoke. Like on the like, if that bus that we got on the Greyhound, he got off to smoke while I had to attend my son. And it's not like I have to, it's I want to, but obviously he's my son. And it's like crazy that I'm the only one that feels this way, you get me? Like, and then yeah, everyone tells me like, oh my god, you're controlling or you're this, and I'm like, it's weird. But anyway, I digress as fuck. But so then the lift was horrible. Then afterwards we had like plans because my sister's boyfriend, or her husband, his birthday is the 28th of March. Like, there are literally so many March birthdays, it's hilarious. And then on the March 9th is my sister's birthday, so it's so funny. And then, you know, March 13th, the father's birthday, and then March 25th, my son's birthday, and then March 28th, his uncle's birthday, and then April 5th, my mom's birthday. So it's just so many birthdays lined up. And the pet's birthdays after, but oh my goodness. But we had plans afterwards, you know, and they were already plans that we had made prior to, like, you know, like that date. So then, like, we went there, we got there like a little late, because, you know, it took forever. The freaking traffic was horrible. And then the Lyft driver made a mistake too, and I was just like, oh my god, like, I just want to go home because my son's extremely uncomfortable. Like, you know, I just want to like I don't even know why we're going. Like, it sucks. I don't know why he doesn't think about our son. Why doesn't he make a Shakey's that's close to where we live? Like, oh my god. Like, to make our, and he doesn't even, no one asked when we got there, hey, how was he? How was the ride for Camilo? No one asked, not even the father, no one asked. I was like, you know, like, obviously I get very like, you know, anxious and like nervous and worried. I get worried about my son, you know. I'm like, oh my god, he literally just went through like really bad car ride. This sucks. Like, and we have to take another lift back home, and we don't know how long that's gonna take. And it's just so annoying. No one asks about, you know, and I was just like, bruh, so annoying. So then at the party, we got there, everyone said hi to us, you know, everyone was like, oh, Camilo. It was like nice, it was like a cute, fun time, you know. And then I remember one of his family relatives is like, oh, he looks exactly like his father. I'm like, I know. And I was like, I love it. And I've said it before, even through text to his dad. I'm like, I love it because everyone always, you know, tells me like, you look exactly like you know, he looks like his dad. I'm like, I know. I love it so much because he literally looks like the person I fell in love with. You get me? Like, that's his dad. Like, I love that he looks like his dad. Like good thing he looks like his dad. Like, I mean, I hope he doesn't look like anyone else. The fuck? No, but like, you know. So then I feel like they tell me that like his side of family, like, oh, he looks so much like him, kind of to be like, haha, he doesn't look like you. And it's like, oh no, like, I don't, like, a lot of people either way, they tell me that he looks like me or he has an essence of me. But I mean, like, girl, I birthed him, you know, like, I don't care. I know what happened. I know the truth, the fuck. And then I'm just like, yeah, but the truth is, and like wholehearted entirely, I love that he looks like his dad. I love that he has so many, like, you know, of his like features and stuff, and like his eyelashes, like, oh, I love it so much. But like, that's his dad, and like, yeah, I picked him to be his dad. Like, hello, like, what? So it's just so funny because I feel like they're like trying to rub me off like in a bad way or something, but I'm like, yeah, keep the compliment. It's a compliment, girl. Like, I had sex with that guy. I made him. Like, I grew him in my tummy, and then I made our baby. Like, like this is good. what I'm hearing. So it's just kind of funny. But then I'm like, yeah, I love it, you know, like, oh, I love it so much. Like, I love when anyone like compliments me because it's a compliment to me, you know. They're like, oh my god, he looks like so much like him. I'm like, yeah, I know. I made him. Not kidding. Like, I picked out the dad. No, but we had a good time. He had fun, you know. It was cute. Like, that's the thing that I love. Like, if my son is good, like, I'm good, you know. So, and then afterwards, like, we did the cake, and then it was like nice. Oh, after he invited us to go like back to his place, basically, or like his aunt's place, like while he's staying in here, not in Vegas, in LA. And I was like, oh, like, you know, we actually have plans, like, you know, we gotta, like, you know, go over there and like somewhere else, like, we can't. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, like, we have plans already. He was like, oh, all right. Then after like they left, and he said, like, you know, we left and everything, we opened the presents and it was nice. Then we had to go. And then we had to get an Uber, like XL. We had to get a big ass Uber because like all the presents. And I mean, you know, I never expected anything, you get me. I'm a very like, I love giving. I don't really like receiving. No, I'm kidding. I like receiving. But obviously, I don't expect to receive a lot, you get me. So then they got him a lot of birthday gifts, and I was like, oh. And then my mom and my parents were like, dude, we have to, like, what are we gonna do? We have so many like presents, like, Jesus Christ, like, we have to get a bigger, like, costier, like, Lyft, you know, or Ubers. And I was just like, bruh. And then obviously I'm not like bruh for the gifts, but like, bro, because, you know, we weren't expecting large gifts. So then we were like, oh, like, what are we gonna do? And obviously we have to pay out of pocket. Like, they're not gonna freaking offer us like, oh, hey, for Camilo or anything. Like, no, they don't give a fuck about us. So then we left and everything. Then he sent me a picture of Camilo's like hand like print of the cake, and I was like, oh, like, that's so cute and adorable. After that, crickets. No, I'm kidding. So that was March 29th at night. Literal crickets though. But he took so long. Like, keeping in mind, I let him know, hey, at the end of the month, like, you need to get your stuff, because then the new like what is it, the like monthly, you know, payment is gonna come up, and you're literally not helping us pay, so we gotta get, you know, you gotta get your stuff out. So then I sent him this text April 2nd, keeping in mind I gave him an extra day in April. Then I sent him a text explaining, you know, I explained myself, I'm very respectful, I'm very like cautious, you know, I'm like, okay, like, look, but I'm very truthful. I'm like, you know, this. He says, I don't have time to read that. I'm like, oh my god. Imagine if I had sent a large text regarding Camilo or something about Camilo. He doesn't have time to read it. Like, wow. Literally, wow. I know. So then he's like, he thinks I'm acting childish because I'm like, well, I literally gave him so many different options. I gave him so much time. I gave him ample time. He literally had months, right? Because he said, literally since December, like, before Christmas, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna get my things slowly from the storage. And even his mom was like, yeah, like, oh my god, like, his aunt, she basically tossed out all their things, like, oh, so kind of like, please don't do that to my son. And I'm like, oh no, yeah, like, I know your son told me, like, she's like, I'm not like that, girl, pero like, but don't press me, like, don't like take advantage of my kindness, you know, like, wouldn't you feel taken advantage of? Like, you know, like, girl, if this guy isn't paying stuff right now, my family's going through like a you know, at that point, a dark time, because my dad, like, everything's going on. We don't have like the resources to be like, yeah, like, we'll keep your things. Like, no, girl, I'm not even visiting Camilo, like, to be like, haha, like, yeah, like, whatever, you're his dad, like, for sure. Like, no, his own father literally stopped paying for storage unit, and all their things had to be like disposed of. That sucks. That's ass. That's his own father, you know, his aunt, that's his own aunt, tossed all their things away. I'm like his girlfriend. I'm his ex-girlfriend, guys. I'm the mother of his child. I'm very nice, okay? I've told you, I've shown you so much compassion. I sent that in a text. And yet again, he's like, oh, you're childish, I don't know what, you're like, for leaving my things out, at least leave this, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I'm leaving all your things out, but I don't think this is childish. I think what you're doing is childish, because I gave you ample time, you know. But whatever. I explained myself. I was clear. I was concise. You know, now it's up to him. So my sister helped me. Like, we left everything out because I'm like, I mean, yeah, we're not going to be paying for his stuff like this entire time. Like, he's just taking advantage of me, of us, of my family, like always. He woke up kind of crying, and then I got him. I rocked him. And he's sleeping again. But basically, I don't want to lay him down because I'm scared if he's gonna like cry again. But I'll just hold him, even though he's extremely heavy and large. Well, you can't see, but so then, you know, days, a little like 2 days I think passed, or a day passed, and I let him know like when Camilo's appointment was, or as a reminder, courtesy, keeping in mind, like I'm reminding him, right, of the appointment that's coming up, the time, the date, everything. I kind of cut it out so you guys don't see like where and everything, but like, you know, it was April 7th. And then he's like, okay. And then he said, do you want me to go? And I'm like again, him asking, I'm like, I mean, for Camilo's sake, yes, of course. For my sake, I really don't care what you do. But I mean, you know, you're his father. At this point, I'm still like, oh, because he's his father, he deserves to know. I feel like I'm so dumb for doing that and saying stuff, you know, like that. Because it's like, yeah, blood is blood, but like family is family. Then I'm like, you know, I'm just letting you know. And then he's like, okay, I'll be there. His appointment comes, the day of the appointment comes. He doesn't show up because he forgot to set an alarm. Thank God I had my sister with me. She took us, like, you know, Aaliyah, and then she helped me because he literally had to get like 5, like, no, it was like 5 vaccines, and then he got like blood taken out, dude. It was the first time getting blood work. Oh, it was crazy. I was like so like stressed out because of how my son was crying, you know, but thank God my sister was there. Oh my goodness. But yeah, the appointment went well, and like he's good, but oh my goodness. And yeah, he forgot to set up his alarm. But yet he can set up his alarm to help like his like you know, like family relative move out. He could wake up at 5 for his family, but not his own son. Then he did come over because he was like, I'll try to come over like the day like after. Then I was like, okay, just let my parents know. He came over, and my mom was like, oh yeah, he was like good with him. And I was like, oh, for the first time he was like good, like he was on it with him. I was like, okay, like that's good to hear. So then after, I was like, you know what, like I've been wanting to go to this Easter event. I'll might as well invite him, you know. My sister and mother ended up coming too, but I was like, yeah, I'll invite his dad, you know, because I also want to be like good with myself, you know. I feel good like knowing I'm like actively trying, you get me, to include his father in his life, to like, you know, invite him to things, you know, for me, but like for the better of my person, like my own self, you get me, like me knowing I did a good job, you get me, I tried. And I invited him, and then from that day, then April 23rd, I think he went to go see him, but I was working, you know. Then he tries calling me. I'm like, girl, I'm at work. Why are you FaceTiming me? Like, the fuck? He's like, oh, because he was saying mama. I'm like, I know he misses me, and it sucks because I'm at work. I have to work, you know, to provide for him. No one else is providing for him. Like, hello. But yeah, so then I was like, oh, okay. And then I sent him a nice message. I was like, you know, because I'm nice. And like, you know, and I felt that way. I always like say whatever I say, like mean what I mean. I was like, thank you, like, because it does mean a lot for him to like visit his son, like to me, you know. It shows that he's active like in his like parenting role. What I forgot to mention from the event though, he did like, and even that day when we went to go get his passports, both days he was like rubbing my like leg, or he wanted to, like, he was like kind of slightly wanting to caress me, and I was like, oh, I didn't like, you know, go with it. I was just kind of like, like no, you know. And I was just like, bruh. Then we were talking about like, you know, going to the science center because Chris, because then his father was like, oh, like it would be like nice to go like all 3 of us somewhere. I was like, oh yeah, like I've been wanting to go to the science center. Like, are you free this Saturday? Because I'm off Saturdays. And he's like, yeah, you know. So then we were like setting that up, and then Saturday came. Alright, so basically we made plans, but we didn't expect. One, Camilo woke up really early, like around 5, and he knocked out and didn't wake up until like 8 or 9. But that was really late, like for us to leave. So then he just came over and we hung out for like a little bit, like all of us, and then he left because he had to go to work or something. And I was like, oh, because he was like, I kind of thought we would have been done by now, like, you know, out going there and like the science center and then like dipping basically. And I was like, oh, like okay. But I was like, okay, if anything, we'll just reschedule it for another day, you know, because it was really cold as well. Loki looked like it was gonna rain, but it was really like windy, so we just didn't get up going. But again, he came because I had asked, like, you know, would you want to come this Saturday and all this? Like, if it were for me, you know. Then at this point, this was the time I let him know, like, hey, like, I want to talk. Like, I've been wanting to, like, I've been meaning to talk with you, like, you know, to have, like, a conversation about something. He's like, oh, okay. I was like, but my mom said you'll come, like, on Wednesday. I was like, we'll talk then. It wasn't Wednesday he came. I think he came Thursday, like, that next week after. Then I let him know that, like, I was like, hey, like, we're going out, like, to eat, like, at a restaurant with, like, his aunt and his uncle. And this is when I'm going to ask them, like, officially if they can be or want to be his godparents. And I was like, yeah, and I know we had talked about this prior to, like, you know, our relationship, like, you know, breaking up. But we had both agreed that it was them, that they were going to be, you know, I just want to be on the same page with you, you know, like me being, like, a good, like, you know, respectful adult. I'm, like, you know, parent, like, you know, just communicating. And he was like, yeah, of course. And then I was like, okay. And then, like, he's gonna go to Disneyland. Like, we're gonna go because he invited him, like, on Tuesday, Monday, I forgot. But then he was like, oh, is he going alone with them? I was like, no, the fuck, I'm going. Why would they, like, take Camilo? They don't know how to, but also, like, they know. I need to be there. Like, what? Then basically when it was, like, the Disney day, I sent him, because he asked to, like, send me pictures and stuff. And, you know, whenever he asks that, of course I'll do it, you know. Anything he asks, I will do, like, regarding Camilo. So now I was like, yeah, I sent him pictures of him and everything and videos. And I was like, yeah, like, he's like, he looks like he's having fun there. I was like, oh yeah, he loves, like, spending time with his aunts, like, his auntie and uncle, like, you know, anywhere. But, like, you know, it was cool that we were at Disney. But yeah, it was fun because he was, like, walking around for the first time, like, you know, obviously there. Before he wasn't, like, able to walk. He was, like, months old. But yeah, and then so we went to Disney that Tuesday, March 29th. He didn't, because then the last thing I sent was a picture of Camilo's, like, little new license thing from Autotopia. He just left me on red. Then he texted May 1st, a Thursday. He was like, I'm gonna go, like, so we could talk and then see Camilo. Then at this point, I'm like, okay, like, I'm not gonna be really, like, I'm like, you're free to visit Camilo, like, you're welcome to, you know, but I'm not gonna be available to talk. So then he's like, okay, then I'll just go, like, different day, basically. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, why aren't you gonna be busy? I mean, yeah, why are you busy? And I was like, personal matters. I went to go to Mexico and stuff, you know. But, like, why do you need to know that? You stalk me either way on Instagram. You know what I'm up to. This was, like, beginning of May now, this month. So he came. It was, like, literally, like, we came back from Mexico, from Tijuana. And then my older sister, Yaya, just dropped me off because then she had to go to a gig, or, like, right after, or, like, get ready. But she came up to use the restroom, you know. And then he was here already at that point. Then my other sister, she came, like, Aaliyah, she came, like, a little, like, after, like, an hour maybe. Like, after, like, Yaya left. But the father was still here. But he wasn't there for, like, that long. He was like, oh, like, so what do you want to talk about? And then basically I let him know, like, so, you know, like, we never really officially talked about how it's gonna be, like, you know, we're separated, like, you know, like, but we're parents. So, you know, I just laid out some rules, like, you know, things that we should be, like, both on the same page. It was this time, I think, when I was, like, you know, like, screen time, you know, phones, you know, like, reading to him, being active, like, you know, like, just, like, a lot of things, like, the do's and don'ts, you know, of what I want. Literally, basically, the list I mentioned from, like, my video back in December, January, you know, like, all those notes, like, that I posted on my video, all of that, basically, I, like, tried to, like, lay it out on him. And I was like, at the end, I was like, oh yeah, and I just want to say, like, thank you for, like, actually, like, because it's been a while since he's, like, tried to, like, do something, you know, like, you know, like, having sex and all this. That's why I think at this point we hadn't, but I forgot because it was, like, you know, on and off with that. So then at this time it was off, and I was like, oh, thank you for actually respecting my boundaries and respecting that I don't want to, like, be with you, you know, and, like, thank you for not hugging me and anything, especially in front of him. And he's like, yeah, and it was just funny. Then after, I was like, okay, I think we're, like, on better, like, no, we're on a better page. But the thing is, he literally that day, he said, I think it was that day, if not a different day, but he was like, no, it's like having siblings is the same thing as having a baby. Same thing, different feelings. I was like, wow. Yeah, guys, he literally sees his own son as a sibling. That's insane. Keep this in mind for the future. But, like, it's crazy. I'm like, no wonder he acts so, like, literally the same. Like, it's crazy. Like, I feel like there's no, like, fatherly, parental, like, you know, feeling vibe from him, and it sucks. I invited him to the science center again, and this time we actually went, and I was surprised because he woke up pretty early. And he was like, I'm making sandwiches and stuff. I was like, okay, okay, pop off. I was like, okay, I like this, I like this. So basically he came, and it was like kind of nice. We went to the science center. It was so funny because I was like taking everything down, like my stroller, you know, Camilo's things, everything, you know, Camilo. We were going downstairs, and then I didn't realize my fly was down. And then he came literally like upstairs like that time. That's when like he came over. And I was like, he was like, hey, we were like, hi. And then I was like, look, you're your daddy. And I always say that, like, no matter what. I was like, oh, like your dad or your daddy, you know, like say hi. And then he was like, oh, like, you know, he pointed at me. I was like, oh, fuck. And I was like, my fly was down. I was like, bro. So then like we came, we set everything up, and we started walking. And then you know, we got there. Oh, we took the train, we got there, and then Camilo was like, good, like, you know. And then he was walking. It was really nice time. And then like kind of towards the end, we were like about to leave. Like we went to, I think, go shop like in the little like section, because we didn't explore the whole like entire science center like in its entirety. So I'm really happy. I'm excited that we get to go back, like, you know, at least to like, you know, be like, hey, like we have a reason to go back, because we didn't go through everything, right? Like at least for Camilo, you know. And then I got him a toy, and I got him a book. I think I don't know if you can see it. I don't know, it's somewhere up there, but it's like this, like My Pet Flamingo. I don't know, it's a really nice book. And I got him that. And then after I paid for the food, I got the father like of our child, I got him a pizza. Like I paid for it, even though he did bring the sandwiches, which, you know, obviously grateful, but I paid like a lot. I was like, ugh. And then because I forgot about the sandwiches, and then he didn't really remind me. He reminded me after I purchased everything. I was like, bruh, like he was like, oh, like, so you're not gonna get the sandwich? I was like, well, it would have been nice if you like, you know, reminded me. Like I have so much on my mind, you know, Camilo, like you don't probably, because and then you reminded me after. I'm like, bruh. But anyway, it was good. We ate, like we didn't finish it, but like, you know, we ate a good amount. Then after, we just went home. And then oh, but when we were at the store, so it was like this, I don't know if you know those toys, like little clips, like you like, it's like a large thing like this, a long thing, and then like you like like you're like tick, 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 tick. So then he was just playing with that with Camilo, and then oh my god, then I just feel something grab my arm, and he did that to me. I was like, like, you know, you scared me. Then after, he just pulls me in, not super aggressive, but he pulls me in, and I'm like, this bitch. And then he starts hugging me like from the back. I was like, oh my god. And I was like, stop, just stop. Like, you know, I said his name. I was like, stop, just stop. And then I was like, oh my god, like I hate you, because I was like, bro, like why do you do this? Like it's so annoying. Because it's like, bro, obviously it messes up me. But then I'm like, don't do this in front of Camilo. Like, you know, I don't want him to think that we're together, like, ever. And it sucks, you know, because we were together, but, you know, we weren't, because, you know, you. So, yeah, then I was like, oh, and then after, you know, we ate, we went back home, we came back home, and then this is when we started, like, having, like, sex again. Like, this is, like, kind of, almost, not, like, every day, but, like, it was, like, the whole time that he would sleep over from this week, I think, we would. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. But I would tell him too, like, hey, like, you know, let's not, like, don't do anything in front of Camilo. And obviously Camilo always comes first and everything. This is basically like a only night thing, you get me? But oh my goodness, he would still want to, like, you know, kiss me in front of him and like do all this stuff, and like in front of him, like hugging, like, you know. I'd be like, oh, like, let's not do this, like, in front of him, especially more for him, because, like, you know, he's the one doing it to me. So then I'm like, okay, that happened. He went back home, I think, because I don't know, he had to go back home to get more, oh, he said to get more clothes or something. Then after he came back, and then he asked if my dad could, like, pick him up. So then we went together, and my mom was like, oh, just take care of me, Lola, you go, like, accompany your dad. I was like, okay. And then we went, picked him up from the train, we came back, and then, you know, and then each night that he would sleep over, we would sleep in the same bed, like, you know, and, you know, we'd, like, be together intimately. And then I think it was this day, because he said that he got me some juices and like something, like, so I could take to work, and I don't know what. I was like, oh, thank you, I appreciate it. Like, weird, but like, thank you. And he got me flowers. I don't know if it was this day, but he got me flowers, like, for Mother's Day. And then, like, you know, he was like, oh, like, you know, like, I think I showed you guys in my last video about the next one, like the flowers he got me, and they were like blue, white, and pink. like daisies, I think, Gerber daisies. And yeah, he got me flowers like for Mother's Day. He didn't flat out say it, but he was like, oh, I got you flowers, basically like Mother's Day flowers, you know. But he was like kind of like through Camilo, because I was like, oh, like, oh my god, I was like, oh, like, thank you. And then like he made, not like made, but like, you know, it was like as if Camilo was giving it to me. Like he held the flowers with him, and like, you know, and I was like, oh, that's sweet, like nice, you know, at least he got me that. But like, oof, hold on, I will let you guys know what happened on Mother's Day. And yeah, so then basically, oh, and then that one of those nights, I think it said on the text thing, he walked my dog Bonita. I've never asked him, like literally all these things that he's doing, I never ask of him to do, right? Literally it was just to come with us to Science Center if he wants to, asking, you know. And then he was like, I walked Bonita. I was like, oh, like, thank you, like you literally did not need to do that, it's crazy. I was like, okay, he walked my dog, insane. So then and then he slept over, and then, you know, we were intimate again. And then I, you know, all these days I go to work in the morning, you know. Then that day he was supposed to come back, and then he didn't, because unfortunately his aunt like was sick or something. So then she was in the hospital, and he has to stay home, or like at her house to take care of, I don't know, whatever. So then I was like, okay, like, you know, I not like I don't care, but like, you know, I hope that she feels better. But like, you know, it's not that it's gonna affect me or like anything, like him coming over or him not coming over, you know. I was just like, all right, do what you gotta do. Then afterwards, kind of like not an excuse, but his reasoning for not coming over again was because he had a huge headache and I don't know what, right? Then the days keep on going on, and he's like, oh, actually I can't go, like, or I'm gonna leave after like I help like take care of my uncle or whatever, because he was like, I guess, drunk or drinking, and he's just on the floor. And I'm like, oh, okay, like prioritize your family, you know, I guess, over your son. But like, you know, like the point is to visit your son, not to visit me, to have sex with me, you know. That's the point, our son. So I was just like, I really don't care, like, you know, like your excuses, your reasonings, I don't care, you know, you're not gonna show up, it's fine. But it's just funny because you keep on saying, I'm gonna be over, I'm gonna come over, actually I'm gonna come over a little later, actually I can't, or I'm not gonna come over because I have to take care of my relative who's drunk, because I guess, you know, I'm in charge of them. Like, it's so weird, you know. Like, okay, thank you for being responsible for your family, for your drunk family, for your like sick family. What about her son? Crazy, you did not ask about her son when he was sick, like throughout the whole, what, like 2 weeks that like he was gone for 2 weeks, guys. In December our son got sick, never once asked for him. And then he had the audacity to say that like I blocked him, I don't know what. I was like, yeah, I blocked you on Instagram, I never blocked your number, girl. Like, even the mom was like, yeah, you blocked him. I was like, no, I didn't. He just never reached out, girl. And like, how is it my responsibility to make sure he has a relationship with his son? Like, Then he says, actually I'll go in the morning because, like, you know, like his aunt's gonna celebrate his cousin's birthday, and I don't know. I was like, okay, pop off another birthday. Like, that's over your son. I was like, okay, whatever, you know. I care about Camilo's family, you know. So I texted like the cousin, like, you know, Camilo's aunt, basically, saying, you know, if she needs anything, if they need anything, like, we're here for them, you know, because they're Camilo's family, you know. Like, I'm a good-hearted person, yo. And then he says, like, thank you for reaching out or whatever, like, it meant a lot. And I was like, oh yeah, like, I did it for Camilo, you know, like, obviously, like, I did it because I wanted to, and I'm a good person. But, you know, they're Camilo's family, and like, whatever they need, like, I'll help, because it's Camilo's for Camilo, you know. Like, I know, like, you know, like, blood and everything, but like, I mean, I genuinely really like his aunt. Like, I like how she interacts with Camilo. They're very sweet to him, you know. Like, obviously I'm gonna, like, you know, reach out and care about them because I genuinely care. Then a day or two passed. It was almost it was Mother's Day. It was Mexican Mother's Day, and that's the day that we low-key celebrate, like, a lot, you know. Like, this is, you know, my heritage, my culture. May 10th, Mexican Mother's Day, right? Like, Feliz Dia de las Madres, you know. And this was when I filmed my next plan on video. I think on this day, if not actually Mother's Day, but it was Mother's Day that I filmed it, like, one of them. He has the audacity to ask me, or I guess one could say audacity, one could say he was very, like, you know, respectful and caring because he invited you, Mia. I'm like, I guess, but like, girl, he never wished me a happy Mother's Day. Yep. Not that I expected it, not that I needed it from him, but I mean, girl, I birthed his son. He was there when I gave birth. He was there when I became a mother, when we became parents, when he became a father. You know, in my head, I've always, like, been wanting, you know, last year I gave him a lot of stuff. I gave him a lot of gifts. This year I was already planning, like, even from last year, I was like, oh, I already know what I'm going to give him next year. Even that, like, you know, we were together, but we were, like, very much broken, you know. And now we're not even together. I still have in mind, like, obviously it's gonna be Father's Day, you know, he made, like, you know, he helped make Camilo, you know. Yes, he was like like a good father at the beginning, then he slowly started very much trickling down, but also it was insane, right? But like, oh my goodness, like, and as I said, he's, you know, he's a father and a consistent one, but at least when he's here sometimes or visiting his son, he does kind of pay attention to him, and that's like, you know, you gotta give him a little credit. I'm kidding, but like, you know, like, I at least wish him a happy Father's Day, you get me? So like, just the fact that he didn't say anything, I was like, wow, like, that sucks. But I mean, thank you for basically like letting me know that you do not care about me at all. Basically though, he invited me to a barbecue like on actual Mother's Day, and I was like, oh, like, no thank you, we have plans, like, plus it's all the way in East LA, and I'm over here, like I like told you guys, you know, like, it's just like, you know, going over there and everything. I'm just like, girl, like, you don't think he doesn't think about our son? Like, oh my goodness. But anyway, you know, I already have plans, and he didn't even wish me a happy Mother's Day. He had 2 days to wish me happy Mother's Day, didn't, you know? And then, wait, I forgot, but I did send him an invitation because I had talked about it in person with him prior to, like, when he was over and everything. I told him for the Science Center, I was like, oh, guess what? Like, Camilo got invited. I talked to my mom about this before. I was like, oh, I kind of want to invite his dad because, like, it's, like, around near where his aunt, like, lives, like, the event of, like, this Bautizon party that's, like, his neighbors, like, his friends, like, Camilo's, like, same age group vibes. I was like, oh, they invited him, and I kind of want to invite his dad because I'd be like, you know, I also want to still be, you know, proactive and, you know, making sure that I feel good about myself. Like, I'm the one that's, like, actively, you know, trying to, like, you know, be like, hey, want to be involved in Camilo's life, or letting him know things like this, right? So I let him know about the invitation I sent to him, and so I kind of cropped it out because I don't want you guys knowing the details, right? So, but I said, oh, this is, like, I almost forgot, like, so I sent him that. And then on that Mother's Day, like, later that evening, he was like, so I'm gonna go back to Vegas, like, this Thursday, or I don't know what, like, I want to come over again. And I was like, okay, you know, I was like, damn, still didn't wish me happy Mother's Day, George. Then I asked, because we had talked about this in person as well so many months ago when we were still together, then again afterwards, like in March, April, because, you know, the Lilo and Stitch movie live action movie's coming out. So then I was like, okay, like, you know, because our plan or our goal for together was to go watch it together. And then I was like, so are you, because if he's leaving Thursday, that was before the movie was going to come out. And so I was like, are you still going to come watch it with us? He was like, I don't know. And I'm just like, we can't just be like, you know, I don't know, maybe. Like, no, it has to be set for Camilo. I have to know to make plans for him. This is our son. Like, what? So then I was just like, oh my Lord. So he said he'll try to come back for the movie, but, you know, my sister already purchased tickets to go watch it as, like, a family. Like, she invited me, Camilo, our other sister, Leah, and so this is Yaya that's inviting, and then my mom and dad. Like, we're all going, all 6 of us. We're gonna go watch the movie. So then I'm just like, broski. You know, like, my family does the most for Camilo and for us and for everyone. But, like, he's just like, I'll try to come back for it. Like, wow. Okay. You know, I mean, damn. So then, as you guys have seen in the text before, and I did remind him in person as well, besides the fact that I reminded him through text, I reminded him in person, and he knows this, and he can't be like, no, she didn't, like, because yes, I did, honey boo boo, and I let my parents and family know, like, yeah. And I reminded him of his, like, cita, of the appointment, because this appointment, I scheduled it, because you know how last appointment, he was like, oh, like, you know, I woke up late, or I didn't set an alarm in the morning, because I usually set appointments. I set his appointments in the morning because it's just better for his schedule, like Camilo's schedule, his awake and nap windows, right? I do it for my son because I know my son, right? I scheduled this appointment to help out more with his dad's schedule because I know he has trouble waking up early. He's not a morning person at all. He literally wakes up really late. So I was like, okay, I'll make this appointment at 12. Okay, this is Monday. This is already the 12th, I think. May 12th. So then I'm like, okay, like, hey, I'm here. Like, I'm a little early for his appointment, but we're here, you know, like, my mom and my father were there with me. So then I get a text basically saying, here, he's like, I was like, are you gonna come or something? He's like, no, I forgot it was today. I was like, wow, way to prioritize your son, buddy. This, mind you, this whole entire time, whenever he's missed something or, like, doesn't show up or, like, something, I'm like, okay, all right, it's fine, I understand, you know. I've been very respectful, very understanding. I let him know when his next appointment was, you know, 3 months out. You know how the usual, like, you know, check out for toddlers, you know, like is, or like that second year of life, right? Then I was like, you know what? I'm just sick of this. I have to say something because this is really like, oh my goodness. So I popped off, right? This is the first time I'm basically like popping off after a while, right? Because I'm like, he's going back to Vegas. He's this whole entire time he's had like this much time, right, to be here. So it's very just upsetting and disappointing. So I said all of this, right? And I very much still stand by that. Yeah. I'll just let you guys read it because yeah, like this is literally how like I felt, and I kind of still feel obviously, but like, you know, it's like how you guys, and I know not all of you guys are parents, not all of you guys, you know, have a child or baby like this age, or are even in a relationship, or are in a relationship but don't have kids, or like, you know, obviously we're all in, you know, our different paths in life, different, you know, levels, different sections, areas, right? You know, we are living our own lives. But I think many of you, like being in my position or being in a position of having a child with someone, not really being with that person, but having the responsibility of being an active parent for both parties, you would want to be there for your child's first dentist appointment, for your child's 12-month appointment, like that, the big checkup, right? He wasn't there for either. And it wasn't because of me. I'm not the one that didn't make him like set up his alarm. I let him know like with time beforehand, hey, this is the time of the appointment, this is the date, this is the location. He knows where the location is for sure. And then that's why I'm like, how is it that he came that whole time? What was it, in like January when he had his what was it, 9-month appointment checkup? He was there a little early. I was like, okay, like pop off. But that was the only thing he came for. Those like less than 2 hours that he saw his son only at that appointment. I was like, okay, well, you know what? Like now looking back, I'm like, okay, at least he went to that appointment. Because this, I was like, I don't know what happened. Then he just completely forgot about the dentist appointment. I was like, wow. And you guys could think like, oh, it's not such a big deal. Like there are bigger things in life. It's like, yeah, but this is my life and this my son's a big deal. So, you know. And then it's just the fact that he's his father, guys. It's so upset. Like, can you imagine? It's just like me, like going to school performing, like when I used to, like, you know, be in choir or like, you know, guitar ensemble in middle school, high school, like even elementary, those little mini recitals with violin. My parents were there, if not my mother, but like my father, I know, tried his best because he like would literally even just ask me about it, like, hey, how was it, like tell me everything, you know, because they want to know, they want to like be there. I'm just like, wow, he didn't even ask how it went. One thing would be like, hey, you know what, I totally forgot, I am so sorry, like I will make it up, or I'm going to be there or something, right? Because the point was he was gonna come over that day and sleep over. So I was like, regardless, okay, maybe he missed the appointment. Why didn't he come back? He didn't sleep over because then after or he probably didn't even want to come over because he couldn't sleep over anymore. Because I said this, you know, I said all this, and I was like, yeah, because the fact that you just want to sleep over just to have sex with me, that's not cool, guys. Like, that's my son, that's our son. Our son takes top priority, you know? Then this guy takes 3 days to reply, to respond to my text, that big text I sent. Yeah, he took 3 days to reply to that. That's in May 12th, and then May 15th he replied, a Thursday. He's like, I'm gonna go see Camilo. I'm like, okay, yeah, you can see him when I come back from work, right? And I have a certain time that I come back from work. I said, anytime after this, perfectly fine. It's not that I'm hindering or restricting him. I'm like saying, yes, you can see him, just at this time. He can't supposedly because he works all of a sudden. I don't know. But even though he's going back to Vegas, he has a job in Los Angeles. I don't even know what the heck. But he can't, basically. I'm like, okay, well, you can come the day after. He's like, well, I have to go. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I gave you options. You literally had 3 days to come see your son, and you didn't. He still could have come that day that he missed the appointment. He just couldn't sleep over. But of course, Mr. Man was sad because he can't have sex with me. Then again, I'm like, hey, I'm not sure if my message went through because it's weird. He's not replying to this big ass text I'm sending, right? So I send it like 2, then after a 3rd time, right? But then he's like, okay, just when you get home, I'll FaceTime. And I did FaceTime him. But the thing is, he didn't answer. And then my mom FaceTimed him too, but he couldn't reply, or I don't know what. Like, oh my goodness. Okay, then I sent out like a couple of screenshots and like links, basically because you know you have to do your research. You're like an absent father, and you're an inconsistent father. You're not an active father. You're not an active parent, and you see your son as a sibling. So I sent him all these links, all these screenshots of things that he should read, honestly, because it's like, you need to work on yourself, dude. This is your son, you know. So then crickets after that as well. And then I tell him, like, you know, I want you to be better. I've, like, in this whole entire time, guys, my whole entire life knowing this guy, I've always wanted him to be the best. You know, I know he's the best. I know he's a good person deep down. He just, oh my goodness, does so many wrong choices and has really bad habits. So it just sucks. But, you know, I want to help him because I care about him. One, you know, he is his father. But girl, I fell in love with this guy. Like, I still care about him very much so. So it's just like, you know, very disappointing to see him very much like tumble down. And like, I still want to wish him the best because I'm getting in a better place. I get a better, like, I have a way better life now. And it's because I broke up with him, because I left him, right? So I'm like, how come? I'm just very like curious, like why, like to know why he isn't like in a better place, you know? Because I feel like the entire time he was complaining about me, like basically being with me sucks. So I'm like, why is it now that your life is low-key even worse than when you were with me and you were very much complaining the entire time? It's like, shouldn't you like have been like leveled up like by a ton by now? Like, you know, not being with me, sus, you know? But, you know, to each their own. I've always wished him the best, and he knows this because, you know, I'm a very kind-hearted, good person. I will wish anyone the best, like literally any single person that's not in my life anymore, completely the best. That's all I want for them, right? But don't know, he just doesn't want to reply. And I forgot to remind or to tell you guys this, but this is kind of really personal now, kidding. But when we were like together again, like having sex, but this time we were like so intimate, because the thing is, he had smoked before and he even told me, he was like, Camilo was asleep though, he was good. And then he was like, oh, you want to take an edible and or like smoke with me? I was like, no, I'll take an edible, like, you know. So then, you know, because I even told him, I was like, the sex is gonna hit better, and he was like, yeah, you know, because, you know, we're like that, but obviously it's just sex, you know. So then we were like, you know, doing it or whatever. Then like we stopped and like he was basically like, we were cuddling. Then he goes, you know, we were just talking about a lot of stuff. I was like, you were really mean that day on your birthday, how I miss Deuce, like, you know, how everything's different. We were like crying, both crying. But the thing is that like I felt his tears go down my face, guys. I was like, I miss this and I miss you, but it's not what I want anymore. Like, I know I don't want this. I felt this man's tears, guys, on my face. I was like, because it's the truth though. Like, I mean, you know, it's nice having sex and everything, but like, it's not what I want. Like, you know, I don't want to be with him anymore in that way of like being in a relationship. Like, it's over. And I think, or I hope he finally realized that it was just sex at that point, or like that I only wanted to be that, if anything, right? Like, we're gonna be in each other's lives forever, but like, you know, girl, like, this has to stop too. And I don't feel this like, you know, way that I used to for you anymore. Like, I'm done. And I think he realized it, or hopefully finally realized it that night, because we were like talking so much, and he was like, I feel like lost, like without you guys. And I was like, yeah, I know you'd feel lost. I really wish that you wouldn't. He feels lost, and he feels like, you know, it's very lonely, like his life basically, like how he feels, you know, in that moment. And I was like, yeah, like, it sucks. And I told him about this because I referenced that, you know, and then now I referenced it back to this text that his, like, you know, family relative and I were talking about him. She sent me a screenshot of what he told her. Like, basically, he has 2 jobs lined up. This was back in like December, January. He has 2 jobs lined, like when he left, 2 jobs lined up. He's gonna get a place for me and Camilo, so then he can move us out there. He's like, if Mia wants to. And I'm like, oh yeah, I really wish like he'll do that. I hope he doesn't get lost. And he did. And it's so sad, guys, because I wish this guy the best, and it just sucks seeing him go. Like, you know, he's in, like, it was like a very low point, because I'm like, damn, he admitted that he's lost. He's lost without us, and that he's lonely. And I'm like, fuck. So then crickets, and then he replies the day after, but he doesn't really reply. He just texts that he wants to see his son. And I'm like, yeah, you can see your son, like, you could just come over, like, whenever you, like, you know, before you gotta go. What he really wanted was basically to just FaceTime him. But I'm like, it's honestly better if you FaceTime him every single day when you're in Vegas? Why would you bother FaceTiming when you're in LA when you could literally visit him here? It's so weird, guys. But anyway, I said this. And then again, no reply. And then, so, you know, I said all of this text. I sent all this, and it just sucks, you know, because it's very much upsetting. You had the whole entire 3 days to say something, to call, to do something. And then you don't. And then last minute, he called my mom because she told me, because I was at work that Friday when he had to leave. Because, you know, I work weekdays. And then she's like, oh, dude, like, and I think I sent a screenshot, or like, you know, I'll show you guys. She's like, I didn't even realize he called me. I was like, oh, bro, like, call him back then, you know, because I'm like, bro, he needs to see his son. And she's like, yeah. And then she tried calling him, but he didn't answer because I guess he was already on the bus or something. So then she's like, oh, like, I feel bad. But it's like, oh, no, mom, because you're literally, why feel bad? You're taking care of our son, girl. Like, you're not on your phone for a good reason for taking care of our son. Like, that's how you know my mom takes care of our son. Because, like, you guys, I think I mentioned this, but his mother's always on her phone, so, you know. And I'm like, yeah, my mom, I told him, like, hey, like, I don't think my mom, like, you know, saw that you called or something, because she's not on her phone. She's literally focused on taking care of our son. So yeah, but then I sent him another text because I was just, like, very much sad, because I was like, oh, dude, like, you know, I miss Zeus and everything, because what we had talked about too when we were cuddling and stuff. So then, you know, that's it. I was like, I guess I'll get a new phone. I'm not, because I thought it was my phone. I genuinely thought he wasn't getting my messages or something, but I kept on texting, you know, my family and everything throughout that time. And I was like, hey, I want to make sure my texts are getting through, because he says that he's read them, but I don't know if maybe they're just delivered, or I don't know. And they're like, no, like, girl, your phone works fine. And I'm like, okay, so it's not my phone. I don't need to get a new phone. I don't need to get a new stuff just to please, like, the father, like, just so I could, you know. And so I was just like, I'm not gonna get a new phone. I'm not gonna get a new number. Like, I really thought it was my stuff, but I guess it's just he doesn't want to reply. Like, it's crazy. So then, guys, since that Friday, May 16th, crickets. No text back, no call back, no reply. I think he only called or texted my mom, like, hey, sorry, I didn't have my phone all day because I was busy or something, because she had tried calling him to FaceTime our son, you know, but that was it. Nothing quiet since then. So yeah, that's how my life's been. Yeah, I probably won't update. Oh, mi papa, I'm a baby. Aquí estoy, mi papa. I was coming home. You want to get ready now? Yeah, my baby. And yeah, I got dealt with this hand, but I'm making the best of it. I'm making the best of my life, making the best of our lives. And, you know, I just always want to have a good time. You know, I'm raising our son, so I think it's like, I think I'm doing a good job. You know, you could say otherwise, you could say different, but yeah, I just wanted to, you know, put this all out there because I'm trying, you know, like, my best and my hardest. And I mean, you know, it's every day, guys. I'm the one, like, basically, like, you know, and if it's not me, it's my mother or my father, or, like, you know, his aunt, you know, his aunts. But, like, from my side of the family, you know, but I'm there. And it's not like every day, because I work, but I don't work full time. I come back home, I attend my son, you know, make sure he's fed, make sure his table, his high chair is cleaned up, make sure his area is cleaned up, make sure his toys are rotated, make sure, you know, that he doesn't get, like, screen time, or if he does, it's, like, very minimal, and if necessary, if possible, making sure that his clothes are washed. You know, I wash his clothes, I fold his clothes, I organize his clothes, I organize his things, I make sure that he has, you know, lotion, like, with Stella, his shampoo, like, his toys, his bath toys, make sure I do his water, like, make sure he has fully stocked pull-ups, wipes, like, every single thing you guys could think of, I got, you know, like, I have it down for my son, because I'm responsible and I really like this, like, life as mother. It sucks being a single mother, like, it's not what I wanted, but I did want to be a mother, so it's like, you know, yeah. But I just wanted to tell you guys, you know, basically how it's been. I really want to talk about this because I've been kind of keeping a lot of stuff to myself. I never thought in my life I would be baby mama, bro, like, ever. Like, this is not in my bingo card, like, of my life. Not kidding. I'm a mother. I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to move on. And I'm trying to live my own life the way I want it to, like, my fullest potential. with also dealing, you know, with this person, like besides my whole other personal stuff, like all the things I'm going with, you know, like that whole next lawn thing. Jesus Christ, you get me? Like that's like a whole other thing. Like I'm going through so much shit, you know. Like I went through postpartum, I went through like the pregnancy, I went through giving birth, I went through so much shit, to getting cheated on, to like, oh my goodness. But yet, you know, I power through, and I'm pushing through for myself and for my son, for my family, like, you know, for my pets. Like I think I am like, I'm lit. You know, this time is precious. He's just growing up literally every second and every single day. And it's like amazing. Like today's literally, he turned 14 months. And I think we had a really good day. I think at least I know like he had a good day. And yeah, but you know, again, it's me being alone talking about this, and it kind of sucks. But then, you know, at the same time, I'm not alone because I'm talking to you. No, I'm kidding. But, you know, I just kind of wish, you know, at least the father and I had a good relationship, to be like, you know, our son turned 14 months today, and which I have told him, like, oh, our son turned this month old, or this is this. But then it's just like one or two, like, not even sentences, just clauses, guys, phrases, not full sentences. And then it's just like, yeah, and then it dies down. Like, it's not like talking about like his milestone, his growth, like the future, you know, like it's so amazing. Like he's a human being that I made, like, and he's just growing up. Oh my God. But you know, yeah. So I'm happy, like, you know, to share this with you guys, and hopefully, obviously, if my son ever does see my videos, hi Camilo. But to this point, to this day, this second in time, he hasn't responded or like said anything, and it sucks. But I mean, it's his life, and he has gone like at least a week. No, if not, he's gone like 2 weeks, if not a little over 2 weeks, without talking or asking about like his son, at least, or like to us or anything before. So I'm, at the same time, I'm kind of not surprised. And it sucks because it has happened. Like he's gone days, like weeks, without talking or texting or wondering anything about his son. So, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I don't blame him in the sense of like, he's still figuring himself out. I know he has his own demons to like, you know, to fight back, to get over. I know he's you know, I know he's lost. I know where kind of he is in life right now. He's lost and he's alone. But it just sucks because it's like, I was there for you, man. Like every second of every single day when I was with you in a relationship, I loved you and I would have done anything. I literally put you ahead of me. So obviously I have to prioritize myself first because I have to be good for my son. And it just sucks, like, seeing this person kind of honestly deteriorate right in front of your eyes, you know? So I will always, forever and ever, wish them the best in life because, you know, they deserve, like, you know, they deserve better because they are a good person deep, deep down. And yeah. But at the same time, I deserve better too. You get me? And my son deserves the most. So, yeah. Oh my God, guys. This was like a crazy video to make. But I really needed to make this and like just say my piece, you know, to be at peace with myself. I just hope, you know, something clicks in him. Not for us to be together, but like, you know, as a family or anything like that. It's just more for him to be like, or want to be a parent, want to be a father to Camilo, you know, to our son. But, you know, only time will tell. Obviously, as one grows older, you grow a little more wiser, or at least that's all we hope at. But, you know, maybe in time, he'll maybe want to reach out and have a, I don't know, somewhat of a relationship with our son. But yeah. I'm happy though that I have that with my son, with our son. So yeah. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys like literally being with me through every step of my life, literally since I started making YouTube in high school. Like, it's crazy like how this my whole life is. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.